You're a freak show, dude. You're so desperate.
Yeah, man. I'm desperate. I think that 15-year-old deserved it. He never should have brought up Ian's wife. I'm a little overweight. I don't like how it feels.
So do something about it.
I am, asshole.
Welcome back to Idiot Influencers. Today, we'll be recounting the story of Ethanisonline, someone I've covered before on this channel who needs his own video. The more I dig into this person's online history, the worse it gets. He's made too many bad videos to count, so here, we'll be taking a closer look at his past and present controversies. This is the disastrous internet career of Ethanisonline, the biggest lolcow on BreadTube. Ethan created his channel back in 2014, simply calling it Ciora. His early content is deleted, though the oldest video on his channel is from January 2017, when he was 17 years old. And honestly, these videos are alright. Nothing great, but hey, it's a lot better than what I was posting in 2017.
Today I'm going to review the LEGO Set 8964, the Titanium Command Rig.
Ethan was clearly inspired by the edgy commentary channels of the time, like Idubbbz and Ethan Klein, with his oldest public video being a rant about the channel Mr. Gear. He'd slowly start to post more consistently, though it's possible he deleted much of his older videos. It featured a mix of video game content, reviews, and short commentary style content. Most notable is his video on Ethanisonline, where we get to see what Ethan used to look like. God, he looks like a normal person. What happened? It's really interesting to hear Ethan give good takes, which is especially impressive since Ethanisonline wasn't as hated back in 2017. Still hated, but not as much as he is now.
The problem with Ethanisonline is that the more you criticize him, the more attention you give, the more he just fucking absorbs it like a cuck sponge. You cut off the head and two more grow back. But this time they're vegan. And there are a lot of why I don't particularly care for Ethanisonline videos out there, and none of them quite address the points that I would like to address today. And obviously I think these videos are very legitimate, some of them, especially coming from the ones of the people he's fucking harassed. But speaking from someone who has a very small voice on the internet and has never interacted with Onion Man, I'd like to give my 2 cents.
Something that I'll also commend him for is his editing skills. It really stood out to me in his 2003 Hulk video, and it clearly caught people's attention. I mean, soon, he'd start editing for another YouTuber, Nick is Not Green, a consistent character in our story. This is something Ethan would mention in his 2021 Q&A video, which he made around the time he reached 4,000 subscribers.
Nadia Barcelona asked, how many people do you edit for? I only edit for one person other than myself, and that's Nick. I edit I'd say 40% of the second channel videos that he puts out. I could not be happier or luckier to be in the position that I'm in. I'm super grateful, and Nick, if you're watching this, I'm lying. I'm lying about everything I just said. Shut up.
Also in 2021, Ethan would branch out to doing more political commentary, first calling up Ben Shapiro. Here, Ethan mentions being a fan of HBomberGuy, a BreadTuber known for his videos debunking conservative conspiracy theories. BreadTubers are basically left-wing online creators who discuss political topics alongside other issues in pop culture. It's very evident here that Ethan was inspired by this type of content to make his own, using it to go after an easy target like Ben. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it's obvious that Ethan was seeing how this was received by his audience before tackling other topics. He'd also make videos criticizing other conservative content like the Babylonian Bee, a Jim Brewer comedy special, and Sigma Male TikToks. Ethan would realize that these sorts of videos did way better than his usual content, typically doubling or tripling in views. This would skyrocket him into emerging leftist spaces on YouTube, where he'd become friends with our good pal Nick. The two would first collab in November 2021.
Yo, if we get 5,000 likes, I will pay Ethan half of what I usually pay him.
No, guys, don't like the video.
Yeah, that's right. I was gonna be generous and be like, yo, I'll double it up. Hell no.
Nah, Nick is
Hell
never
no.
generous.
Now, 2022 is when Ethan's content really started to shift in quality. They're still decent production-wise, but in terms of what he's saying, not so much. Now, the videos from this time period weren't really looked at with a critical lens, at least until much later. This is back before Ethan started getting into drama, or should I say, losing at drama he started. First, let's go over his video, The Most Insecure Men on TikTok, where he criticizes members of the No-Fap movement, specifically the extremists of that movement, showing how hyperbolic they can be. My issue comes with the fact that Ethan is coming at this from the complete opposite extreme, as in, he's coming at this from someone who's way too sex positive.
I don't even know how much money you spend on cigarettes, but you have to still spend money. Oh, and how do you access it? Just type in a 7-letter website. Not to mention how so much harder it is to quit, because this is a real addiction.
Because porn is a real addiction. Crack, you can stop that anytime. But porn? Nah.
A lot of his criticism boils down to Ethan trying to paint these guys as loser incels who hate women, trying to grift off mentally ill boys.
So we're really getting down to the core of why so many people are no-fap. They're incels. They're just incels. They hate women, they hate knowing that other people are having sex, and want that to stop. They're ashamed of themselves and ashamed that they have to masturbate because they can't get laid, and they want everyone else to feel the same way.
Or maybe they want to help people? Because out of all the guys he mentions, only one seems to be a grifter using this to make money. These other guys seem genuine. They're just being exaggeratory to grab people's attention, just like Ethan. The real reason why I'm talking about this video is due to Ethan's takes on porn addiction.
This is as good a time as any to talk about porn addiction, because what a lot of no-fap dudes like to imply is that if you watch porn one fucking time, you're addicted. Like, it's literally a real drug. That is not true. Porn addiction is actually one of the most over-reported addictions, despite the majority of people who report that they have it not actually exhibiting any symptoms of real porn addiction, to the point where there are prominent psychologists and sex researchers who argue that porn addiction isn't even a real thing. So comparing porn addiction to something like actual hard drugs is fucking insane. If you heavily drink every single day for 20 years and then one day you just stop out of nowhere, you will die. And the same goes for most drugs. You can stop porn anytime you want. Just because it's difficult doesn't mean you're addicted to it.
Okay, let's break this down. Ethan is insisting that addictions to adult content are overreported and might not even be real. His evidence being this insider article that he doesn't even source in the description. But don't worry, I did. The reason why these psychologists and sex researchers say these addictions aren't legitimate is because they aren't listed on the DSM-5. The DSM-5 is a book detailing mental disorders, which does list addictions to video games and gambling. The reason why adult content addictions aren't listed is because this book was written in 2013, with slight revisions in 2022 and 2023. This means that the main source for this claim is outdated, and several studies have since proven that these addictions are legitimate. The National Library of Medicine published the study, Neuroscience of Internet Pornography Addiction, a review and update, in 2015. I'll link it below, but essentially it states that these sorts of addictions are comparable to other internet addictions. You know, the ones that are mentioned in the DSM-5. And most people of common sense can see that, but Ethan's out here with the, actually. Also, it's obvious that adult content addictions aren't as harmful as drug addictions. The comparison is that they both addict you in similar ways. Ethan ignores this nuance because his ultimate goal is to paint no-fappers as incels. Pretty sure these guys are voluntarily celibate, as in, they want to have healthy, non-sexual relationships. I don't think this guy knows what that means. All the legitimate criticism from Ethan crumbles away once you realize he's doing this for his own benefit. I mean, come on, this guy's dating an e-whore, who sells lewd pictures of herself to random men on the internet. Her entire business relies on men being addicted to porn. If he was actually a sex researcher like he claims, he would know that it's not good to consume too much adult content.
Now, I'm a very sex-positive person, and sex research is something that I'm very passionate about. In fact, this video is something that I've been trying to work on for a long time, but I've been trying not to make it so lecture-y.
Well, you failed on that front. I want to thank the YouTuber GoldenBoy, who did research into this specific topic. I'll link his video below. The issue that I noticed here is that Ethan became incredibly biased towards like-minded people, as in, other leftists like him. Now, as I said in my Denims video, everyone has some level of bias. I'm biased towards certain people, and Ethan is biased towards certain people.
So as you can obviously tell, I have a bias here. I don't understand how this became a controversy in the first place.
But with Ethan, he's not able to properly defend his bias. When you can't do that, it makes you look dishonest. There are loads of examples I'll give in this video, but the first one has to be Ethan's take on React streamers. Now, I won't dive too deep into this topic, as I've discussed it a lot this year, but Ethan outright defends the lazy content of people like Hassan Piker and Denims.
Even if a streamer played an entire fucking video without commenting whatsoever, if they were doing it in good faith because they liked the video, I don't see anything fucking wrong with that, provided that they credit the person who made it.
Okay, but if the creator barely reacts to the video, then what's the point of watching it? Why not just watch the original? I'd rather just watch the original instead of the version of Hassan's chair in the corner blocking part of the screen. Ethan tries associating all React streamers under the same umbrella, instead of differentiating the terrible ones, because he likes the terrible ones. Not specifically because their content is good, but because he agrees with them in other areas. Then there's the video, TikTok has a comedian problem, which is just 20 minutes of him complaining about jokes he takes offense to.
They end up making really unfunny topical jokes about transgender people or gay people, I don't know, the Holocaust. And then when people say, hey, I think that's a little annoying of you, they double down and act as if it's their like right from God to be annoying. Comedy is the most important thing. If you can't laugh at stuff, then society ends. It's in the Bible.
You're right, Ethan. You don't have the right to be annoying. Get in the prison cell, dude. Ethan mainly focuses on TikTok clips where comedians joke around about hecklers, and his takes are as weak as always, specifically in regards to Jimmy Carr.
What, sorry? Rude? So sorry, when I said there's an ugly woman at the back, you went, hey, he's talking to me. Yeah. Rude. What's your name, madam? Kelly, I'm gonna go soft on you, like every man that's ever seen you naked.
Woman heckles set, initiate fucking misogyny protocol. I don't know. It doesn't happen as much when men do it. When men do it, it's never like, you're ugly and fat. But when women heckle, it's always immediately. Like, you dumb fucking bitch, I'll kill you.
You made fun of a woman? Gonna hit you with the misogyny label. And by the way, from what I've heard, hecklers are basically encouraged to pester him. It's considered an honor by fans of his to be roasted by Jimmy. Ethan just hates the fact that people like Jimmy or Dave Chappelle do edgy comedy. And I'm not saying there aren't things to criticize these people for, but Ethan sucks at giving criticism. Overall, just a nothing burger video where he gets offended by jokes. A lot of the other videos he's made are just not good. He either goes after an easy target like random TikTokers, or conservative influencers that the general public already hates. It's simple content and I can't blame him for making it. And it worked, as he'd grow exponentially in 2022, renaming his channel to Ethanisonline. By the end of the year, he had almost 200,000 subscribers. He'd also begin collaborating more with other leftist YouTubers like Gabby Bell, Jordan Adika, Chad, Ryan Beard, and Nick. Ethan would then start uploading on his second channel called Peethin in mid-2022. Yes, Peethin, a piss joke. Here he'd post reaction-style content, mainly just covering the same few conservatives to farm views. I mean, across these two channels, he's made dozens of videos on Matt Walsh, Jordan Peterson, Candace Owens, and Ben Shapiro. And I mean, you can criticize these people, but Jesus dude, 25 videos on Ben? I've talked about Ethan in like 4 videos and even that's way too much. Also, he's made a ton of videos on Shane Dawson, even watching his movie with, denims. Of course these guys are friends. The apple doesn't fall far from the retard. Now one of the main videos that really put Ethan on the map was Lazy Content is Radicalizing People, where he goes after a certain type of commentary channel. You know, the ones who talk about random internet news of Leafy-style gameplay footage. Again, this video could have been fine, but the way he criticizes these guys comes off as spiteful and hypocritical. Specifically, his lousy attempt at going after sensitive society. Sensitive Society makes your typical daily commentary videos and currently has over 500,000 subscribers. Channels like this are bound to get into drama, with his biggest being the many back and forths he's had with Peethin here. Ethan is seemingly going after him because he believes channels like this are radicalizing people into believing right-wing talking points. It's really flimsy because a lot of that is just Ethan not liking jokes made at the expense of fat people.
Here's the thing, I do think that people choose to be fat. I do believe that there's some people that are just so fucking lazy and they just love to eat junk food and they can't go one day without having a burger shoved down their fucking throat. I do believe that. That's on you.
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you? The escalation of that sentence was just crazy to hear. I do think it's a choice to be fat, but some lazy fucking motherfuckers just can't stop stuffing burgers in their mouth. Like, oh my god, being honest about how much you hate fat people for looking fat is way less disturbing than what you just said. Obviously, being fat is not a fucking choice. The amount of corn sweeteners in things that do not need them in the United States is unreal. Did you know there's high fructose corn syrup in things like chips, crackers, bread? And not only that, but there are a multitude of factors that dictate your weight. Genetics being the most important factor.
Does this guy not know what self-control is? Oh, it's not my fault I weigh 400 pounds, it's all the stuff they put in my food. Okay, then just don't eat that food. This is literally the logic of an addict. This rant goes on for another minute, by the way. Just him blaming being fat on stuff outside his control, like genetics.
Now, I always say this, if you have a medical condition or it's like beyond you because you were born a certain way, that's fine. I will never make fun of someone for something they cannot change. You could change your weight. You're just honestly lazy.
But you totally would and probably have. You just had an unhinged rant about made up fat people who can't stop eating burgers, not a real thing.
Ethan buddy, that's clearly you. Bro went from a normal looking guy to looking like the soy boy stereotype. Honestly, he's probably where that joke started from. Ethan first calls out Oscar over the video, "People like this disgust me," which he fails to link in the description. Why? Well, because he cuts Oscar out of context and doesn't want his audience to know that.
Started my day pretty early at around 2 a.m, so I went to my local gas station for a couple drinks, went home and did my normal usual routine, and then I had to go to Walmart because my fridge was almost empty. Came home, edited a couple videos, had a 4-hour stream that peaked at 56 viewers and averaged 23, and then I was pretty tired.
You're acting like this is the hardest thing in the world.
Hey man, so when did he say that? When did he ever say the word hard or any synonym? You have the clips, like you could show it.
God, I hate how smug he is about this. Here's what Ethan purposely cut out.
Content creation is harder than your 9 to 5. You really don't know how much hard work goes into creating multiple videos a day. Being constantly creative with new video ideas, trying to make footage look good, getting new shots, taking many takes over and over, it can get to be a lot.
Oh no, you didn't. This man said, this fucking guy, being a content creator is harder than working a 9 to 5.
This is really dishonest from Ethan, and he knows his audience isn't going to seek out the original. Ethan goes on about this one video for another 10 minutes, and just repeats the same points about how Oscar is pretentious and makes lazy content, which could be valid criticism, but it gets annoying fast. What Ethan is trying to do is label Oscar as a gateway to the far right, radicalizing people by presenting groups in a negative light. It really isn't that deep, it's just him making jokes about fat people. Ethan tries to compare this behavior to libs of TikTok.
It's an extremely common line of logic with trans people. The entire Libs of TikTok Twitter account is dedicated to that same logic. You see one cringe non-binary teenager on TikTok and suddenly every conservative is like, yeah, this is reality. This is a completely unavoidable thing that everyone has to deal with unless we, I don't know, kill trans people or something.
This is behavior I've noticed from other leftists like Noah Samson, by claiming they're a gateway to the alt-right because they don't share the exact same beliefs as them.
Some of my viewers are conservative, some of my viewers are left-wing. I think his biggest concern is that the left-wing part of my audience are going to suddenly be exposed to the most dangerous thing of all, which is a different perspective. God forbid people on the left explore some of the viewpoints that exist on the right, because that is scary.
If you want to say that Oscar's videos are lazy, go ahead. I mean, he'd probably agree with you. But you lose me when you necessarily bring politics into it, to label Oscar something he's clearly not.
I do feel bad for the people who are just minding their own business, plus size people, if you will, and they just get shit on for no reason. I don't think that's cool. I think you're just a fucking dick and a douchebag if you're harassing innocent people.
Yeah, I actually fully agree. You know, for example, if you made videos called "She Thinks Being Fat is Healthy and We Should Only Date Fat People," here's my response. These people think being fat is healthy. If you're not fat, you're fatphobic. Not something anyone has ever said. This is not healthy. This is what being healthy in 2022 looks like. Pathetic. Gen Z thinks being skinny is racist. Again, no one thinks that. Go outside.
Ethan, he's calling out the extremists in the fat acceptance movement. Those aren't normal people minding their own business. Also, the gall for this guy to say go outside when he looks like he's about to tell me about the harvest moon.
It is one of the most frustrating aspects of channels like this, knowing that them and their audience are the vocal majority on the internet by a lot, and then still manage to pretend like SJWs are the ones in real control and they're the brave vanguard fighting back by saying what everyone else is too scared to say. Brother, I've got some news for you. Steven Crowder is one of YouTube's favorite white supremacists. They have constantly bent the terms of service around keeping him on the platform, when they should have permanently banned him years ago. But because he brings in a good amount of money for him, they don't care. Steven Crowder thinks exactly the way Sensitive Society does about fat people.
There he is again, comparing Sensitive Society to a conservative. This is reaching in Praise of Shadows levels of bad. Oh wow, this guy makes fun of fat activists? You know who else makes fun of them? Fascists.
Sensitive Society and the gang of freaks that all make videos just like him constantly lure people into more and more radicalizing content. You watch a video where Sensitive Society says a fat person on Broadway is like a blind person flying a plane, then you find out, oh hey, Ben Shapiro thinks that way too. Oh hey, they've both done videos about how much they hate Lizzo. Oh, Jordan Peterson also hates black and fat people. And before you know it, that person's only consuming racist propaganda. And I know this very well because it happened to me.
me. When I was a teenager, I fell down a right-wing pipeline that led me to unironically liking Jordan Peterson. It all has to start somewhere, and in my opinion, there's no excuse for being such an obvious part of it when it's not hard to educate yourself on what the world is actually like.
Don't worry guys, he's totally not an extremist anymore. It's not like he just switched to being an extremist on the other end of the political spectrum. Then Ethan reveals the real reason he's making this video. Oscar made a video criticizing Nick.
This is like a discount Cody Co. There's something about him that's really punchable. He's everything I hate, and someone who most likely would have gotten bullied at high school for being an annoying, pretentious prick.
It's just so exhausting to hear people flounder around to try to find reasons to hate Nick and his content. Like, you can be jealous that he makes real videos. That's fine. It's okay. Just be honest about it.
Oh yeah, real content like the epidemic of fake beanbag reviews and role-playing stinky TikTok POVs. Ethan then discusses Oscar's coverage of Sneako's ban. Oscar makes it clear that he does not like Sneako, but doesn't like that Nick is telling his viewers to mass report Sneako's channel. It's a very touchy subject and I'm not going to dive too deep into it. Should Sneako have been banned for saying those things about Chad? Probably. People just didn't like how Nick was going about it. My issue with deplatforming Sneako is that it feeds into his persecution complex, and isolates his audience to other platforms where he can radicalize them. Ethan focuses more on defending Nick instead of being nuanced. Oscar's take isn't that great, but he's not supporting what Sneako did. He disagrees with both sides. 2 weeks later, Oscar would respond back with a video humorously titled, "Addressing the allegations made against me." To make things short, Oscar thinks making his videos out to be political is dumb, and he agrees that his content is lazy.
All you need to do is keyword search a woman through any of these weirdos' videos and it kind of tells you all you need to know. It's lazy content, let's not beat around the bush here.
Yeah, you're damn right. It's lazy content, and I've said this many times that I make in about an hour and a half. I don't know how this is an insult. Like, I've never hidden the fact that it's easy, lazy content to make. Don't get me wrong, I love making it and it's really fun.
I don't even necessarily have a problem with lazy content as a rule, but do you really have to exclusively talk about e-girls and OnlyFans girls and trans people and fat people? Is that like really? Do we really need to hear more weird?
Dude, you really have to talk about incels and men being cringe and calling people transphobic. Do you really have to keep doing that? Can you talk about something else? Aren't you more original than this? Every single point this fucker's throwing at me, it could easily be applied to you and your stupid political takes. Being macho is cringe. This is stuff that's been said for years. Man equals bad, guys. Like, that's all you fucking talk about, dude.
Besides that, there really aren't any other big points he makes. It's just him shitposting. Sometime after this, Ethan would respond back on stream, uploading it as a video to his second channel titled, "This guy begged for me to see his response video, LMAO." It's incredibly boring because he just restates his original points over and over again. If you want to watch it yourself, the link is down below. I'm skipping it because it's just really fucking boring. The two would enter a stalemate of sorts, with neither really being seen as clearly in the right. Again, Oscar wasn't really trying to make any grand points against Ethan, he was just having a laugh. The drama would re-spark in mid-2023, when Sensitive Society covered Idubbbz' apology video. Ethan used this as an opportunity to make another video on Oscar, while also covering other commentary channels' takes on the apology. I'll cover this video in the next section, but this would lead to Oscar making a response back. He mainly covers how Ethan twists what people say in order to go after them, and also makes fun of them.
The way Idubbbz is talking about this is like if you went to Africa, brought like 10, 15 little boys to America, and Idubbbz made those people slaves and fed him nothing but beans and water. They didn't.
Why does it look like he's fucking nutty? Does my voice really turn you on that much? I will have to say this. Cool Garfield plushie and cool lava lamp. If I was 10, I would definitely be rocking this.
Now sometime after this video, Ethan would invite Oscar on stream for a conversation. That's at least how it was pitched to Oscar. This is pretty much the climax of their feud, and I just have to go over it because it's a goldmine of stupidity. It's very clear from the start that Ethan doesn't want to have a conversation, as whenever Oscar elaborates on something, Ethan cuts him off and pretends he's changing the subject.
This person can engage in really deceptively made, really harmful right-wing content because it was the autoplay of your next video and they feel the same. They say the same thing.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I stayed in silence because I wanted to get everything you were saying. And you know what? This is such a unique argument because it's like, well, your video was next on autoplay or Ben Shapiro's.
No. I'm telling you.
That was my fault. And on top of that, I want to say, this is regarding this and regarding everything. I am not responsible.
Okay, so we're not
for
talking about what I'm
your-
talking. We're moving on from what I was talking about. Cool.
Okay, I'll just address it here.
Well, you
Like,
just
it's
don't want to
it's
talk about what
exactly
you're moving on.
Bro, let the guy talk.
Let me speak!
Now, while I do agree with the basics of what Oscar is saying, he isn't the best debater. Though to be fair to him, he didn't come on expecting a debate. Ethan continually makes the conversation hostile, and even begins smoking weed to calm himself down.
I'm going to break this down, Oscar, and I need you to follow me. I need you to follow me.
Okay, I'm gonna put my weed down just to focus on you.
I'm going to pick my weed up.
Smoke it.
You said that...
Buddy, can he not just put the weed pen down for a couple of hours? Imagine the smell of that house, man. I bet his girlfriend is just as much of a weed addict. You can clearly tell that he's furious, and needs the stuff to keep him from yelling and screaming at Oscar. The two talk a lot about fat acceptance, with Ethan trying to get Oscar's perspective. Ethan asks if Oscar was ever fat.
What was your heaviest? Are you comfortable talking about your weight? What was your heaviest?
Well, I wasn't like a fat fuck or anything. Like I just had a little.
Why would you say that? It's just like rude. Why would I think that's just because you're insecure you said that. That's weird.
What, fat fuck?
Yeah. You're like, I wasn't like a fat fuck. I was cooler than that. Like, I was better than that. That wasn't me.
I never
It's
said
like,
I was better than
you have
them.
to understand how you sound when you say stuff like that. It's so weird.
Oh my god, why would you ever say that? That's so hurtful.
I want to get an idea of what your perspective was.
Well, I didn't take it too like I just didn't like it. I don't like how it feels, you know? Like I don't think it like
How
you know?
what feels? Being overweight?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know a lot of people don't like how it feels, Oscar. I don't like. I'm a little overweight. I don't like how it feels.
So do something about it.
I am, asshole. It's really frustrating that your fucking audience keeps commenting that shit when I do. I used
That's
to
great.
be heavier, dickhead. But it's you don't fucking change
Don't get
overnight.
aggressive on me, Ethan. Now you're the one getting mad.
You literally were just like, do something about it. Fuck off, asshole. It's mean. You're mean. When you talk about weight shit, you're mean, and I don't like it.
God, this is hilariously dumb. I find it funny how this guy goes on a full tangent about how it was mean to make comments about his appearance, as if he doesn't do that to others.
If he shaved everything but his mustache, he would look scary. He would look frightening. Beard is giving Easter Island silhouette. Yeah, he does look like it. Someone point out he looks like from his profile, he looks like a crescent moon. Why does he look like that? Why are his eyes yellow like a Sith Lord? Why does he feel like he was built in Detroit Become Human? Who is this man? I'm frightened of him. If I described to you a balding white man with a podcast who peaked in high school, you'd probably be able to perfectly capture exactly what this man looks like. Sorry to inject him into your head.
And I think it's fine to make these comments. The difference is, Ethan can't handle it himself. He can't stand being told to take accountability over his weight, something that he can change. Yet he'll call out people he doesn't like over things they can't change, like being bald. If you're going to make fun of someone's appearance, you have to be able to handle similar jokes about yourself. It's called being self-aware, something Ethan pretends to be. Also, I just flat out don't believe him when he says he used to be heavier. I don't imagine he got super skinny by 18, only to gain weight again. He clearly doesn't want to take accountability over his problems.
I was playing Hallelujah, and I did Control F because you literally like gaslit me. I thought I did call you homophobic, and I was like, man, I'm sorry I did that. And I Control F my script, no homophobic. Control F my script, no transphobics, not in there.
You were alluding to it. You were like this goes back to what we were
I know.
talking about
I think you
earlier.
do have transphobic takes, but I think it's not like overt. I think
There
it's
we go.
subtle transphobia.
Perfect. Here we go. Transphobic.
Okay.
Why do you think I have transphobic views? I'm transphobic. Please, I want to know your perspective.
Well, first of all, I literally just said, I don't think you're transphobic. I think you just have transphobic takes in the same way that everyone has normie ass takes. It's just normie views on trans people.
Oh, I don't think you're transphobic. I just think you said things that are transphobic. Ethan, it's fair to conflate the two. As for you calling him transphobic, he's tiptoeing around his true feelings so he doesn't have to say anything in bad faith. He does this a lot. It's how these guys get away with calling everyone fascists. Towards the end of this conversation, Ethan mentions his friendship with Nick and their music project, Queef Jerky. Oscar, jokingly, wants to go to one of their shows and be brought on stage.
Yeah, I mean, you can watch the show. I'm not going to bar you from coming in.
But like, can I be like a special guest
No.
so I can get booed?
Nope.
No.
No.
Oh, come on. I wanted to be in a poster or something like right next to you guys.
No, never.
Queef Jerky is a music group consisting of Nick is Not Green and his girlfriend, Dev Lemons. For their first album, they teamed up with Ethan, who appeared in a few songs and edited the music videos.
Pineapple upside down, yeah. In the toilet, I make a brown, yeah. In the ocean, yeah, I drown, yeah. Make some motion to the sound, yeah.
Yeah, this is the type of song I would have made goofing around on GarageBand back in 2014. Just a mix of poop and random XD humor mixed together to make an unfunny comedy song. I talked a bit more about their music in my worst YouTuber songs list, but it's just straight ass. Even some of their fans are questioning this project. The conversation ends on weird terms, with Oscar jokingly trying to befriend Ethan and him not buying it. This rivalry probably could have ended here, though some upcoming drama would change things. I'm sure you've seen this meme before. It reads, "Sentenced to 40 minutes of left-leaning white guy video essay commentary video." Yeah, that's Ethan. That's Ethan's newer content in a nutshell. You got classics like, "This megachurch pastor can't stop flexing," "PragerU Kids is a hilarious mess," "The bizarre depths of the TikTok shop," and "How the right made dangerous planes a race issue." The type of content you leave on in the background and still be bored of. There's a lot of these videos I could go over, but there's 3 infamous ones I'll cover here. First is his video, "The Groomer Narrative is a Lie." Here, he attempts to criticize conservatives who label anything LGBTQ related as grooming. Now, it is valid for him to criticize those who overuse the term groomer to generalize an entire group of people. However, this falls flat the more you watch the video. He tries to spin conservatives as the real predators, which stigmatizes them in the same way he claims they stigmatize gay and trans people.
In 2023, any fucking freak bozo, no matter who they are, can pop up on your YouTube screen and talk about how fucking trans people are bad and buy my t-shirt that says trans people are bad. And now we can start talking about really creepy shit about children now because we're talking about trans people. Conservatives just, you know, they have children on their mind all the time. You can't blame them for wanting to talk about children every chance they get.
This isn't the only time he does this, by the way, because then Ethan uses his expert research skills to completely own the chuds.
The source that I found on this is a UCLA Williams Institute study on demographics of people in sex offender registries all across the United States. For some reason, the sex offender registry, I don't think, keeps track of sexuality. So they had to survey people on the sex offender registry to even get the data. So right from the top, basics. 80% of the people in this registry are straight. I think we're done, right? That 96% of them are men, and about 40% of these straight men sexually abuse their own family members compared to just 24% of queer people. Interesting.
Alright, let's look at that study Ethan was referencing, because holy crap, he's clueless. I'll link it down below if you want to see it for yourself. What Ethan fails to mention is that there isn't a 50-50 split in the population size of straight people and LGBTQ people. According to the UCLA Williams Institute, who also published the other study Ethan is using, as of December 2023, around 5.5% of adults in the US consider themselves LGBTQ. Even if high estimates, it's 7.1%. With that in mind, this data literally shows that LGBTQ people commit sex crimes at roughly 3 times the rate of straight people. One of the paragraphs above this chart literally says this, but Ethan completely ignores this. So in an attempt to show gay people don't commit sex crimes at higher rates, he shows a study that completely proves that wrong. He does show that LGBTQ people have a higher rate of being incarcerated, but says it's because of oppression. He never shows valid proof for this, it's just an assumption. I'd be willing to believe him if he does have evidence. I don't know if this is stupidity, or that he's intentionally twisting the truth to make his side look better. It's hilarious because right before showing this study, he was super cocky.
But yeah, sure, let's say that there is any sort of legitimacy behind the idea that gay people are grooming kids. Not that there's any fucking study to support that ever, but, you know, if that's the narrative we're going with, we're gonna have to talk some facts and logic. So if you're a conservative watching, this is the part where you're gonna turn off the video. I know you guys aren't really huge on facts and logic, so make sure to press subscribe.
Ethan's own research disproves this point, and nobody in his audience realized it. It wasn't until half a year later when Think Before You Sleep looked into that study and pointed out how wrong Ethan is. Ethan then digs deeper into calling conservatives groomers.
It's no news that the Catholic Church is full of creepy freaks. We already know. Everyone knows. But all of these conservatives all say the same shit about gay people. And listen, if you're friends with pedophiles and you say the same stuff as pedophiles, I don't know if you're all that good of a guy. I don't know.
He tries to conflate that all Catholics are pedos or pedo defenders, listing off a few examples. One is a man named John Roach.
Speaking of hypocrites who love, you know, hurting children, let's talk about John Roach. John Roach was a Catholic archbishop in the Twin Cities from the 70s until the 90s. Listen, I know I said Catholic, and yes, it's exactly what you think. It is pretty extensively documented how much of a pedophile defender Archbishop John Roach was. He literally had the sexual assaulter of multiple boys sign a contract that said, don't go to the youth group because you're a mega pedophile.
Wait, repeat that?
literally had the sexual assaulter of multiple boys.
So, your example of a Catholic conservative being a pedo defender involves them protecting a man molesting boys. So, a gay guy. You were once again arguing against yourself. Could you not find one case of a straight Catholic pedo? And I love that he's conflating all Catholics as conservatives, since a majority of them are either Democrats or have no political leanings. Instead of dismantling a groomer narrative, he spreads a different one out of pure spite. A completely hypocritical move that doesn't dismantle the supposed lies of his opponents, but instead vilifies them. This whole video is just, oh, you think we're the groomers? No, you! Instead of meeting down the middle, Ethan does exactly what he calls out others for, overgeneralizing. During last year's Idubbbz drama, Ethan would weigh in with, the response to Idubbbz' apology is gross. Now if you want the full context of what he's talking about, go check out my Idubbbz documentary. To keep things short, Ian, or Idubbbz, got into drama last year for his disastrous charity boxing event, which involved drama of one of the fighters, Froggy Fresh. During the midst of this, Ian apologized for his old edgy content, which involved him jokingly using some no-no words. Many criticized this apology for the timing and how performative it was, as he treated this old content as a burden he'd had to deal with for the rest of his life. In my opinion, Ian was doing this to purge his channel of his older audience, since they were critical of his recent actions. Ethan would be one of the few YouTubers to defend Ian, using it as an excuse to go after a few commentary channels he didn't like. One of those was Sensitive Society, who he mainly just calls unfunny while being unfunny himself. He also claims that Idubbbz' fanbase is radicalized to an extreme level.
You just made YouTube videos, it's not that serious.
He made videos that weird, sick freaks like Sensitive Society praised and took so seriously and held him on such a pedestal. That's why this video is even able to exist, is because people took his content to such a weird, unhealthy extreme.
I find this funny because Ethan himself was a fan of Ian's old content, stating this in the intro.
I used to be a fan of old Idubbbz, and I was also very ignorant while I watched that content as well. And as someone who was de-radicalized, I think this video that Ian put out is pretty important. The perspective of someone who participated in right-wing radicalization and racism on the internet having changed over time is a really good example to set.
Again, Ethan wasn't de-radicalized. He shifted to the opposite extreme. Just because Ian said some edgy shit doesn't mean he was far right. Even Hassan Piker, someone just as radical as Ethan, doesn't think Ian was alt-right.
It didn't seem like you were, any different than any other content creator on YouTube in that same era. As a matter of fact, you were probably like more towards the center or left than most content creators of that era, because you were shitting on the most like right-wing content creators of that era.
Okay, that last part was stupid, but you get what I mean. I guarantee you Ethan was never far right-leaning. He just found edgy humor funny and saw others shift away from that to be more socially acceptable. Ethan then moves on to nitpicking the Jinx Reload content cop.
This is the secret formula to maintaining a positive like-dislike ratio while producing terrible content.
What the hell does he have written behind him in the back there, where he needs to have a script with him for this video? He's not saying anything. He's not saying anything about the content. He's just saying like, man, he has a different bucket hat in every video. Okay.
Ethan, it's a comedy video. He's making jokes. Something you clearly don't know how to do besides being snarky. Ethan then briefly mentions a few other channels like Kavos and Jamari, getting offended at a sex worker joke made by the latter.
If I were down bad enough to buy her OnlyFans, which I'd rather kill myself, we share her now.
That's a fucking hideous way to act and a really gross way to think about women. Yeah, man, you're definitely not the cringe, creepy weirdo here.
Again, Ethan's own girlfriend has an OnlyFans. Lastly, he covers a video by Diesel Patches, though it's not even about Ian's apology. It's a video made a month prior looking back at Ian's sex workers video.
You can tell Ian kind of lost his composure a bit. He's all fucking red-faced, and at one point in the video, he makes fun of a 15-year-old kid to defend his queen.
First of all, the crowd that is defending saying the N-word is mad about someone pointing out a 15-year-old's looks. I think that 15-year-old deserved it. He never should have brought up Ian's wife. That's fucking weird.
Mr. Bullying Isn't Okay thinks it's valid for a massive YouTuber to mock a 15-year-old. And only a few weeks later, he'd say this during his conversation of Sensitive Society about Fuzz99.
Why do you care so much if they look goofy? What if they say, I don't care if I look goofy, I still like being silly. I still like being this person.
Then be silly.
But why are you... Okay, so, but then you keep making videos to tell them to stop. Like, why does it, like... I know you're just doing it for the bag. I know you don't really care that much. But, like, it's mean. It's mean to do. And you have mean takes when you say things about them.
I mean, it's a public platform, right? And you upload it yourself, and anyone can talk about it, just like I've done.
So it's okay to bully because it's a public platform.
No, I'm just saying you're putting it out there, and when you're putting out everything, you're bound to get some backlash. And on top of that, if you're being extremely fucking annoying, like Fuzz99 is or whatever the fuck.
It's okay to bully if they deserve it.
So Ethan thinks it's wrong to make fun of a trans person for being cringe, but it's okay to make fun of a 15-year-old for making jokes about a public figure. It's just inconsistent. And I guarantee you, Ethan only thinks it's okay because the 15-year-old is making fun of a sex worker. Diesel would respond not too long after. Don't get on Ethan for this retarded take.
I think that 15-year-old deserved it. He never should have brought up Ian's wife. That's fucking weird.
No, what's weird is getting butthurt by what a 15-year-old says that you display that kid's face in front of your millions of fans to be made fun of. That's actually the opposite of maturity and growing up. That's called being an insecure loser. If you're an adult and you have millions of followers online and some random minor nobody gets under your skin, then you need to log the fuck off and go outside.
Sometime after this, Ethan would delete the video. After mentioning it in a previous video, it randomly appeared on the Internet Archive, so I uploaded it myself. That's how bad this video is, even by Ethan's standards. Then we get to one of Ethan's most mocked videos, You're Wrong About Modern Art. It's a 40-minute pretentious clusterfuck where he tries to convince his audience that modern art is cool, and you must be a right-winger if you think it sucks. This logic completely contradicts another big point Ethan pushes, which is that art is subjective, and you should be willing to hear out other people's perspectives.
But something happened on the way to the 20th century. The profound, the inspiring, and the beautiful were replaced by the new, the different, and the ugly.
Nah, new art style's ugly. I mean, that's mad. Not only is that completely subjective, but the other two are synonyms in this context. Robert, what are we doing?
The issue is that Ethan doesn't like the perspective of right-wingers, saying that their takes on modern art are negatively influencing people.
Art is subjective, not in a I think this is good and I think this is bad way, but in a way that's unique to everyone. Your appreciation and your taste in art is reflective of your subjective experience, your identity, your personality. These are all factors in observing art. And I think it's far more important to experience and think for yourself rather than letting narratives dictate what you think.
Yet in the same video, he shits on classical art as if it's objective truth.
Yeah, this little T-girl Jesus is the most expensive painting in the world from Leonardo da Vinci. It's not even finished. Hair does not look like that.
Well, if all art is subjective, then why are you stating as a fact that the Da Vinci painting is unfinished? That would be an objective statement. He clearly doesn't understand his own logic and is only saying all this shit to sound pretentious. He shits on classical art and then praises modern art like a white canvas, a giant rock, a pile of boxes, and a fan. Ethan's reasonings for liking these pieces is due to their backstory, not how good the art looks. He likes the fan because the person who owned it died from AIDS. Yes, that's why that fan is considered art. The main reason this video gets a lot of flack is because he tries to conflate Charlie as a useful idiot for the right. Ethan asserts that all art is political, which is a dumb statement once you think about it. You can literally make anything political if you try hard enough. I'm sure Ethan can do a 40-minute video explaining how this thumbnail is right-wing propaganda.
Of course there's a political component, right? All art is inherently political, either in its influences, messages, or implication. 101 guys, this is baby stuff. Art critique is really just opinion, but a lot of people let right-wing propaganda cloud their judgment of modern art, whether they realize it or not. All because it helps them feel better in not wanting to engage with it. In an ideal conservative world, art is interpreted for people through a YouTube video full of lying, misinformation, emotional manipulation, false comparisons, but this happens every day.
Ethan, that's literally what you're trying to do here. Because right after this line, he tries comparing PragerU, a conservative propagandist group, to Moist Critical, a video game streamer.
PragerU has made at least a dozen videos fooling your old grandpa about modern art. All of them are completely nonsense and wrong, but why is it that I hear the same boring, shallow, fragile talking points from people who should be way more in touch with culture? Listen, yeah, I know his face is in the thumbnail, and yeah, this video is kind of about Charlie. But listen, it's not personal. I'm trying to compare content that realistically should have nothing in common. Fascist propaganda and gamer streamer should not be saying the same things. The difference is PragerU's content is motivated and has an agenda. Charlie is just being a useful idiot for that agenda, with peace and love. I know it's not on purpose. Charlie doesn't watch PragerU for his art analysis content. He probably didn't even get the talking points from them, but they're still saying the same thing. Charlie's just an average guy with an average brain in his head. Florida average, but average. But it's uncanny how similar normal average guy language can be to politically motivated propaganda. Content that we all know is dishonest.
This is such a lousy argument. Oh, this normal person said this thing? You know who else said that thing? This extremist group. It's a Hitler drinks water type argument. Charlie not liking modern art doesn't mean he's a useful idiot for the right. It means he has a common opinion. He shows Charlie giving objective takes about modern art, which is clearly just him joking with his audience. Ethan doesn't care and goes after him anyways.
The video keeps going and Charlie keeps saying that it wouldn't be that hard to make a Jackson Pollock painting.
None of them have the energy, the spontaneity, and the sheer skill in handling paint that he has.
Oh, very skillful.
You read the paint.
Does he see how much paint is on this? It's covered, and it's really big. Like, especially if it's on the ground, he had to walk around and on it. He could swing his whole arm out and still be painting on his canvas.
I'm pretty sure anyone can do that. I mean, Ethan does it every night.
If I had a black light, the place would look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
So just like with Oscar, Ethan is saying that having a decently common opinion and discussing it on your channel will lead viewers down the alt-right pipeline. That's his strategy. He's got to make everyone outside his worldview seem dangerous. This is Lex Updog, a Twitter artist and OnlyFans model I mentioned a few times in this video. She would occasionally collab with Nick and Ethan around spring of 2022, with her currently dating Ethan. On July 27th, 2023, she would post the video, My Experience of Dawn Doctor and SuperMega. Here she relays her time living with the members of SuperMega, a let's play and sketch comedy channel with around 1 million subscribers. Lex's video served as the catalyst for a multitude of negative allegations regarding the company, which came from Lex's friend Rav, an ex-employee named Leighton, a sex worker named Morgue Pie, Nick is not green, and Ethanisonline. Now, this might sound a little crazy, but it's always been my opinion that Ethan is the mastermind behind this entire scandal, and let me lay out why. So it all starts with Lex's video, which is 2 hours long. Since there's so much, let's go over her main claims. The biggest is that Lex was sexually assaulted by SuperMega's channel artist, Dawn Doctor, and this event was covered up by the company. She tells the story of her relationship with Dawn, meeting him online around 2018 and soon dating him. They wouldn't meet in person until late 2021. As they both do art for the book, SuperMega Saves the Troops. And for those wondering, the book is about the founders of SuperMega, Matt Watson and Ryan McGee, trying to kill Osama bin Laden. Both Lex and Dawn would stay at Matt's house, where Lex claimed she was sexually assaulted. Her and Dawn wouldn't talk about it until half a year later at Creator Clash, where Dawn was remorseful and didn't think of the event as assault. She would soon tell Matt and Ryan, though claimed that the latter was more interested in preserving the SuperMega business. Lex even says Ryan referred to the company as his magnum opus. She says SuperMega were actively covering up the assault, and there was even a mishap where Dawn and Lex were at the SuperMegaplex at the same time. Dawn would eventually be fired, as Matt and Ryan believe Lex's story, though she claims they'd grow distant over the next year. Lex also claims she was sexually assaulted by Jim, another SuperMega employee. After a party at the SuperMegaplex, Jim gets Lex to open up about the Dawn situation. Lex herself says that he was drunk, and he started flirting with her after she told her story. They make out, and he walks over to an office closet, getting her to come in with her to continue kissing. My question is, if she didn't like this, why did she go to the closet with him? She acts like she has no choice here. Also, Jim was drunk by her own words. He wasn't in the right headspace. The third major claim is that Matt and Ryan made her homeless. They were letting her live at the Plex rent-free, though she complained about how much of a mess it was. Her and her friend Rav would go on a road trip across the west coast, where their Jeep would get robbed. She claims Matt and Ryan laughed about that behind her back. Lex was basically wasting all her money on weed and Uber Eats, becoming a freeloader who didn't contribute much to SuperMega. I mean, she wasn't even an official employee of the company. Matt and Ryan nicely pushed her to move out, and even offered to pay rent on a new apartment so Lex can get back up on her feet. She declined, and begrudgingly moved back to Tennessee. That's pretty much the whole video, though Lex throws around other random claims to make Matt and Ryan look as bad as possible.
My birthday was a couple days after, and pretty much no one came to it. Nothing against anyone, really. It's when I started to realize that things were weird.
She's just flinging shit at the wall to see what sticks, and never takes accountability for her own actions. She always blames someone else, even claiming Dawn forced her to leak her own nudes.
He would message me and ask me if it would be okay if I would send him the files from the Patreon. And I would be like, you mean the old ones that you're sub to? And he was like, no, new ones, or all of them. I didn't want to, but my boundaries were so poor, I said, yeah, anyway. At this point, we had talked enough that I thought he liked me, so I was trying not to assume poorly of him, because I just genuinely didn't think he would do that, and then he did. So he was letting me leak my own nudes to him.
After this, Rav would post his own statement supporting Lex. Leighton, another SuperMega employee, would go live on Twitch to tell his story. He claims the duo were homophobic to him, would sexually harass him, and that Matt would misgender his partner. Morgue Pie also did a stream, saying she had a one-night stand with Matt. She also says Matt was cheating on his girlfriend during this, and names that girlfriend for no reason at all. Then, on the 29th, Nick is not green to make a video detailing the entire situation. It's incredibly biased and features multiple personal attacks against Matt and Ryan.
And my favorite post right here says, rape apologist gets what he deserves. And it shows Matt getting the absolute shit beaten out of him. Let's just let it play a couple more times. We can keep watching it. I don't think anyone minds letting this loop on repeat. We could just let this go. If you want me to do this for the rest of the video, I could.
Ethan wouldn't get involved until the 30th, when he did a live stream of Lex on his second channel. It's been deleted, but parts of it are archived by YouTuber Queeman. His analysis is pretty spot on. During the entire stream, Ethan displays SuperMega's sub count, laughing with glee as it keeps going down.
But as you can see on the stream, he's decided to put SuperMega's live sub count on the screen, because that's what, you know, normal people do when their girlfriend has been raped.
Ethan pulls up a custom-made SuperMega apology bingo, awaiting their responses to the situation. Lex would soon join him, smoking weed and bragging about taking down SuperMega. They promote Nick's video on the situation, citing it as the best coverage of the story.
What happened with SuperMega? Listen, Nick made a video about it, but all you need to know is that they're bad. Go to their subreddit. There's plenty of information.
What a sack of shit, man. What a sack of shit. But Nick, my friend Nick made a video about it. You can go watch that. It's called SuperMega is full of horrible people. But all you really need to know is they're bad. Just listen to me and accept. Bro, this fat fucking freak.
Google SuperMega subreddit and go there now. Look at anything. Look at the first post. It's been trending all weekend. It's funny how fast everyone turned on SuperMega. Yeah, and I think that goes to show, right? It's kind of self-fulfilling in a sense.
Ethan also promotes his new music of Queef Jerky, calling it the Song of the Summer.
Pineapple Upside Down's blowing up. Yeah, it's the song of the summer. That's why. No, that's great. Pineapple Upside Down's a banger.
Filming that one was fun.
Yeah, we filmed that together. My first music video I ever made, and I basically like directed it. I had so many shot ideas, and Nick gave me the director's credit. So 143K. It's basically just the song of the summer. It's just
y'all smoking mid, bro. Every day. I love smoking mid.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Is that it? Are they done?
I love smoking mid.
Me when I get a lobotomy.
You sure you haven't had that lobotomy yet, Lex? This stream reveals Lex and Ethan's true intent, to ruin SuperMega. Instead of focusing on the person who assaulted her, they'd rather go after the bigger names tied to the situation to ruin their careers. These are serious allegations they are spreading, yet they themselves don't take it seriously. And guess what? This isn't even Ethan's first attempt to cancel them. Before 2023, Ethan was a big fan of SuperMega. In fact, he posted about them quite a bit, even trying to get Nick to go on their channel. Things soon changed in April 2023 when Leighton got fired. He made various allegations against SuperMega, which Ethan happily spread on Twitter. Fans of SuperMega have been harassing my friend Leighton non-stop after he came out detailing one of many disgusting cases of homophobia he and many others witnessed in their office. His is not the only story, and everyone defending them will look very, very stupid very soon. He continued with, "I'm just as disappointed as many other fans, Leighton included, but I refuse to make excuses for racist, entitled dipshits who hurt people. If you see people getting quiet right after speaking on things like this, remember how lawyered up YouTubers can be." Ethan also alludes to Chuck E. Cheese's middle name, a joke Matt and Ryan would tell. Since you're fucking stupid, I'll explain the joke. Chuck E. Cheese's middle name is the N-word of a hard R. A joke I heard multiple times while around their office, as have multiple other people. Nick would chime in, stating, "Sounds like a really cool fan base that constantly defends two white dudes who have a horrible reputation behind closed doors." Many ignored this, pointing out how unhinged Ethan sounds. One user even wrote, "Okay, and didn't Leighton say an anti-Semitic slur? Good to know, you're willing to overlook anti-Semitism, Ethan. Great job." This was definitely an attempt to cancel SuperMega, though it failed due to how untrustworthy Leighton is. Lex's story was a clear opportunity to try again, and it worked at first. Ethan would gloat on Twitter, harassing Matt by saying, "Hey man, saw your girlfriend post this on her private. Can't wait to see the response debunking everything instead of an apology." So Ethan is going after the guy's girlfriend, who, you know, isn't a public figure, the one who was brought up by Morgue Pie for no reason. The next day, he tweeted, "In case you missed it since you unliked it, tough guy over here was liking pics last night of Tony Soprano killing someone who ratted on him. Normal behavior from a guy who was knocked out in 20 seconds. I cannot imagine more pussy behavior." Jeez, talk about schizo posting. All he did was like a frame from a show he enjoys. Who cares? This isn't like when Noah Samson liked to tweet about wanting Vosh to be killed. This time, it's completely innocuous. Ethan is just trying anything at this point to make them look like freaks, when in reality, he's the freak. Matt and Ryan would finally respond on July 31st, making two separate videos. First is Matt, who admits that he could have handled the Dawn situation better. He claims that much of what Lex said was a misinterpretation of events, and that he could have been more clear to her. Matt showed evidence for this, and brought up how Lex didn't want any of this to be made public.
We never stated our reasoning for cutting contact with Dawn or removing him as the channel artist, because Lex had not publicly talked about this, and she expressed that she did not want this to be a thing that was public. We felt like it was not our place to address someone else's sexual assault and give that as the reasoning for removing contact with Dawn. We figured that as long as he was gone and we weren't working with him, you know, that was our response. The last thing that we wanted was to bring attention to something that Lex did not want attention brought to.
Matt gives additional context to why they became distant with Lex and Rav, and says they did not try to make them homeless.
Shortly after they made the decision to voluntarily leave the office, we did not throw them out, we did not make them homeless. Here is a text message where they're talking about leaving the office.
He then addresses Morgpie's claims, saying he was single at the time. He showed proof that Morgpie knew they'd only be hooking up, but she grew feelings for him. She's unhappy that he didn't want to start a relationship, as if she isn't a massive e-whore known for constantly fucking other dudes on camera. She flat out lied about a ton of stuff, but that could be a separate video in and of itself. Matt then explains that he fired Leighton due to his constant mood swings and poor work performance, though Leighton had suggested leaving the company previously. He brings up the claims of homophobia, claiming that Leighton encouraged these jokes and took part in them.
Here are screenshots from several occasions where I made sure Leighton was comfortable with these types of jokes, to which he always replied yes, and even in one message said it would be weird if we stopped. In this message, Leighton says he sees no issues with the jokes. Here he says he feels more comfortable around us than anyone. And I said, real talk, we absolutely love having you as a part of SuperMega. You've completely revolutionized our company. Leighton responds by saying, I love all the gay jokes you guys throw at me. And I said, you're a crucial member now. If they're ever too much though, just tell us. And he said, I'm so fucking happy to hear that. I fucking love working with you guys. Nah, you guys have never offended me. I think Justin is nervous that it'll come off as homophobic, but I love you guys and the gay jokes. It would be weird if you guys held back, LMAO. I jokingly said screenshotting all this to cover my ass, which he said LMAO to.
So yeah, those allegations Ethan were spreading were a fucking lie.
Shortly after, one of Leighton's best friends, who is Lex's boyfriend, tried to instigate drama on Twitter by lying and saying that he has heard us say the N-word multiple times. In reality, we've only met this individual a handful of times, and it's mostly been at social events, and always accompanied by Lex. So to think that we would just casually be dropping the N-word with a hard R in front of not only someone who's a stranger, but also a woman of color, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. He also mentioned the Chuck E. Cheese joke, and I don't think it's a coincidence that a short time before he posted this stuff, Leighton replied to a tweet about SuperMega with a gif of Chuck E. Cheese. Leighton denied that he even knew his friend was going to say anything or that Leighton was involved with this, but I think it's a little too coincidental.
Matt also shows text where Leighton shit talks Reverend Lex, and then dives into the sexual harassment claims. This harassment amounted to crude jackass-style bits, which would involve open nudity. Leighton never complained about this while working with them, and even took part in it.
In December, we were recording a podcast when he came in unannounced and showed us his cock and balls.
In late 20s, Chuck. Hey, Leighton.
Hey. Whoa.
Somebody's putting on
Do you see his balls?
Leighton, you want to come take a seat?
Do you see his balls? I don't think it's appropriate for the podcast. You want to wrap yourself in a towel.
That is a three-hander.
Now, if you want to criticize this behavior, that's fair, but Leighton took part in it and weaponized it to lie. Ryan's video is much shorter and mainly discusses events from a specific point of view. He debunks Leighton's claims of misgendering, saying his partner is gender fluid. Oof, this guy who cries homophobia just misgendered someone. It's almost like the outrage is performative. Ryan does own up to a few things, like sexting fans, and how poorly he handled Lex's situation. However, the main topic of discussion here is Daniel Kyer. For context, Daniel is the former best friend of Matt and Ryan, who collaborated with them on their YouTube channel, Syndigo. He would sadly commit suicide on September 16th, 2015, with it being a traumatic event for the duo. The accusers of SuperMega would weaponize this as a personal attack against them.
Matt's like at least twice in front of me, separate times while hanging out with him, has called Daniel a coward. So no, they don't care about suicide. They don't give a shit about suicide. They only give a shit about themselves, and who they can make jokes of that are under them that they can get away with.
Lex brings this up because Rav's partner attempted suicide, which has nothing to do with SuperMega besides being a form of guilt tripping. Ryan addresses this, explaining the full story.
On September 16th, 2015, while Matt was in South Carolina and Mark was at work, I found Daniel unresponsive in his room due to an apparent suicide attempt. He was taken off of life support on September 18th of 2015. To address these allegations head on about me making fun of the suicide of my best friend, I just want to state that it's just untrue. The person making these claims never knew Daniel. They definitely were not a part of the group that experienced the trauma of losing him, and I think, honestly, it is disrespectful to bring him up as a weapon. I felt like he was just brought into the situation for drama's sake to try to hurt me or Matt or hurt our image. I have done enough shit to tarnish my image, but I will not stand by and let someone talk lies about the way I talked or treated my trauma in regards to Daniel. The sole focus of all of this should have been about the support that Lex needed and about how we mishandled the situation. All of the attention should have been on Lex. Why Daniel was brought into it, I have no idea. I just wish personally he was left out of this completely.
Lex, alongside the rest of the accusers, were completely fine spreading this false narrative as a low blow. This went so far that fans of theirs were going to Daniel Kyre's goodbye video and other posts to leave mean comments. Most of these comments can't be deleted, since, Daniel's not with us anymore. They clearly don't care about trauma. They just want power. Simple as that. Something that Matt briefly mentions as the conspiracy angle. At the time, it was lightly suggested that this is all one massive conspiracy to cancel SuperMega, with Leighton being seen as the guy on top.
A lot of people, mainly Leighton and his close friends, have used this as an opportunity to capitalize off of what was initially someone's story of sexual assault. It seems like the story lost its plot and quickly devolved into a dogpile on me and Ryan, when I don't think we necessarily were the focus to begin with, because it was about an assault.
However, I don't believe that. Leighton is way too mentally stunted to pull off something like this. It was Ethan. Think about it. Ethan immediately supported him and got Lex on board. He knew of her story and had her take her time in making that 2-hour video. Leighton got Morgue Pie involved since they're friends and they were supposed to collab in the future.
Morgue Pie is someone that I met and didn't need to like me, didn't have to. But especially after all this crazy shit, she still was so sweet to me. And wanted to record with me, and she liked the idea of my show.
Lex and Ethan then reached out to Nick to cover it, since he had a much larger following. Nick at first denied this being a coordinated effort, stating this in his second video.
There is no way where I would look at that situation and hear her story, and do people think that just legitimately she just wants to outright lie about the way they treated her for no reason? I don't really understand where people are coming from when they call me a liar with an agenda and they call her a liar with an agenda. Where do you guys think we're coming from? You think we're a part of the Illuminati or something?
Yet in his next video on the topic, he said this.
Now Lex, the artist at the center of the story, is dating a close friend of mine who you are all familiar with. That would be Ethanisonline. Lex posted her story, and I was asked by her and Ethan to potentially talk about it on my channel because I've talked about similar situations in the past. I watched her video, and a few days later, I posted a video covering everything she said in the video, including the reports of 2 other people who spoke out about SuperMega, one of them being a former employee of theirs who used to be friends with Ethan and Lex at the time of her video releasing.
So here, he flat out says that he was asked by Ethan and Lex to cover the story, a detail he previously omitted. Ethan also admitted on that Twitter post that Leighton's story isn't the only one. How long had Ethan been planning this? And by the way, this tweet is still up. Ethan wants some form of power. He's this pitiful little man-child who seemingly got bullied in high school, and now wants the ability to do that to other people. That's all he's doing here. He wants to justify bullying Matt and Ryan, going so far as to call out Matt's girlfriend. He's willing to slander these guys because a mentally deranged friend of his got fired. This was never about the sexual assault, as most of the conversation barely revolved around Dawn. And honestly, with all the other information that's come out since, I personally don't believe Dawn assaulted her in the first place. If she's willing to lie and over-exaggerate everything else, why would this be any different? Following these responses, things started falling apart for the accusers against SuperMega. Morgpie stopped addressing it, going back to sexualizing herself in front of her 13-year-old Twitch audience. All of Layton's accusations were proven to be lies, with even Lex throwing him under the bus. She'd soon unlisted her original video, and updated the description. Here she states that what Layton said in his stream wasn't okay, and that he did that stream while she was seeing a movie. I call bullshit on that, as the stuff he said about Daniel was said by her first. She's now trying to discredit him, after Layton pretty much left the internet and deleted everything. Nick would continue making videos, where he doubles down, yet keeps contradicting himself.
I have no agenda. If his art sucks, let's fucking dunk on him. He sucks. Countless comments of people calling me a liar and claiming that I posted about this situation in malice towards SuperMega. Let's just let it play a couple more times. We can keep watching it. But I have not blocked any words, I have not suppressed anything, but I do not have any ulterior motive for my videos made on SuperMega. Really not something to be that proud of. Seems like Matt Watson is a 14-year-old boy, and he looks like it too. So Layton was a former merch designer for SuperMega, and was let go without SuperMega actually saying anything to their audience.
Nick truly showed me true friendship.
I don't like Layton. He was a reputable source. I came to find out that Layton was not a reputable source at all. My TikTok drama audience does not overlap with a dying Let's Play channel. Justin and Kelly have both taken SuperMega out of their bios to know that they were willing to immediately disconnect and separate themselves from SuperMega. It says a lot, but I do not have any ulterior motive for my videos made on SuperMega. And if you don't remember Matt and Ryan, you might remember them from the first Creator Clash, where they both had the shit beaten out of them. I was still a third party who made this video summarizing Lex's story. This isn't like an online, like normal thing where I look at all the facts. Of course, I'm gonna take the side of a personal friend of mine. I have no agenda. I have no agenda. I have no agenda. I'll be back on Monday.
Various YouTubers and streamers, mainly Destiny, Turkey Tom, and Lyrics, began looking into the situation. They tore apart the whole thing, noticing all the lies spread by these ghouls. Nick would attack these guys by calling them Reddit debate dorks.
Today I'm wearing my scary shirt to make me look a lot more scary. There's too many Reddit debate bro dorks on this website trying to come after me every single day. So I thought I'd show them a little bit of what I'm made of. You know, do I look scary?
I'm so scared, Nick. He'd eventually start apologizing for his actions, meaning all the attention regarding the situation went to Lex and Ethan. Lex was pretty much blocking everyone who mentioned her negatively in any way. She'd even like tweets calling out Nick's role in the drama. Nick was yet another person the duo backstabbed. Ethan stayed silent, and he'd stopped uploading to both of his channels for over 2 months. He was seemingly waiting for the hate to die down, which was noticed by both a Cheeto and sensitive society.
And on his last video, people are cooking him alive. I almost reached out to him via Twitter DMs because I just want to make sure he's okay. And we go to the comment section, it's not looking too good. I mean, this person says delete this comment as well, which means he is active on social media. He just hasn't said anything. Why? Because him and his dumb girlfriend were celebrating the cancellation of SuperMega. They were smoking weed like the fucking badass kids they are, right?
Their videos from November 2023 really pissed off Ethan. So now, it was time for him to take matters into his own hands. On December 6, 2023, Ethan would send Oscar the following DM. "What's up, bitch? Sounds like you have a lot to say about me online. You want to talk again? If not, get my dick out of your mouth and make some real content." Oscar posted this with the caption, "Someone is mad." He then replied to this with, "Ethan, how is your relationship with Nick is not green?" Ethan responded with, "Bad. I thought you were the one making videos about how evil he is, or whatever. You clearly don't know your facts. Stop getting distracted by other people you want to clout chase from." This started a war. A one-sided war that Ethan got himself into over spite. Bro, your channel and Nick's are deader than mine, I don't need clout from either of you. You both are really good lolcows though, so everyone in the commentary community appreciates you for being dumb and pretty much ruining Nick's YouTube career. Also, can I get free tickets for your next concert? I'm a fan of Queef Jerky. Okay, so since you obviously don't want my clout, I'll make sure to keep an eye out for any videos about me. You won't make another one, surely. Ethan would then quote tweet the original post with, "Little bitch got involved in discourse about my partner's essay story, treating it like drama to speculate on, only because he was mad I outed him for being hella stupid. Yeah, a mad bitch. Didn't you get exposed by Turkey Tom and everyone else for being wrong, along with Nick? You're straight up having a mental breakdown right now, bro. You should chill out. I mean, I would too if I cost my friend Nick Is Not Green his YouTube career. How do you feel about that? You're clinging on to whataboutism for dear life while still calling in your little gossip crew because you have nothing to say. Bitch. Remember when you did a live stream saying this isn't to cancel SuperMega and had the sub count going down while high as shit and laughing? Classy. Just like this response. Yeah, I thought it was funny they lost subs after covering up SA. It's funny when bad things happen to bad people. I deleted it because freaks and grifters use it to invalidate SA. No one did that. The story and how it was presented did that. You and Lex were not able to produce anything of substance after the disclosure of the Dawn stuff. Everything involving SuperMega was unnecessary, and you both know it. The sideshow of Nick's videos, your shit livestream, Leighton being a dumbass, Morgpie and Rav all culminated in this. No one did this, other than you guys, and you all know it. I'm so confused by this discourse because people are covering it so confusingly. I am so confused, please help, I am dying of confusion. Just watch Lex's video. The idea that she's lying comes from nowhere, and her story isn't contradictory if you don't clip it out of context like many videos have. Don't listen to Ethan, he's full of it. If you want the truth, watch the Turkey Tom video. Around 3:48, Turkey Tom says Lex and Dawn met in 2021. This is completely incorrect and forms a totally different view of Lex's story. She does not say that. She admits they had been dating prior to then in her video, but Tom is stupid and didn't do basic research. Don't trust this. This is fucking retarded on Ethan's end. During that part of Tom's video, he clarifies that they met in person in 2021, and that they started dating online after 2017, so Ethan flat out lied here. I got a question. Why didn't you defend your girlfriend on your channel? Why did you have to beg your friend Nick for it, huh? I mean, it's your girl, right? You both were smoking together celebrating SuperMega going down. Why not post it to your channel? Bitch, I was already accused of grifting without doing that. Why would I? Why don't you answer my DM instead of stalking my replies, stupid? Sounds to me like you're a shitty boyfriend, Ethan. You put her on blast, and then when everyone exploded in your face, you blame everyone but yourself. Do you actually know how much pain you're causing people? Not only Lex, but a lot of other people. I don't know how you sleep at night. You're straight up a monster. LMAO, says the drama worm who grifts off the whole story. I didn't put Lex on blast. Dumbass YouTube video essayist did by getting the facts wrong over and over. I'm putting you on blast. Do you not realize how much of a villain you sound like right now? There's absolutely no way anyone is going to support you with the vile, childish way you're acting. Get fucked, as you like to say, bitch. Shipple Dipple will then post this video mocking Ethan.
This guy doesn't leave me alone. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to send him a little message, I guess. Well, let's see.
What's up, bitch? Sounds like you have a lot to say about me online. You want to talk again? If not, get my dick out of your mouth and go make some real content.
And send. Mess with the dog, you get the bite.
Ethan then questions why Oscar had to make the original tweet in the first place, as if he wasn't being totally unhinged. LMAO couldn't respond before getting her dick writers and creepy little buddies to tell you what to say. Why are you being so mean towards me? I thought we were friends, what the fuck? Because you're a bad person, Oscar. I was too nice when we talked before, and you literally clip-chimped me for months, hahaha. I thought you were cool with bullying. I never said I was cool with bullying, what the fuck? That's insane. Of course not, I only put out positivity and love. Hugs, not bullets. Are you okay, Ethan? Are you on something at the moment? I'm mad at you because you talk out of your ass non-stop, so you can't actually address what I'm saying to you and you're just posting cringe instead. Back up what you actually think and post about it, bitch. It feels like you're having a manic episode right now, Ethan. I'm concerned for you. Cheeto, what do you think? LMAO, again, you can't defend yourself, so you call in the bitch squad. If you have shit to say it, motherfucker. Bro, why are you scared of a Cheeto? You always run when I bring him up. Who said I'm running away? I don't give a shit about irrelevant freaks I've never talked to. I'm talking to you, but you clearly have nothing to say. Oscar then replied with this glorious image. Ethan dares Oscar to show his face, as if he's ugly. Coming from this guy, it might be a self-projection. Cheeto would then join in, tweeting, "My video hating on you has more views than 50% of your own content in the past 2 months. If I'm irrelevant, what does that make you? I haven't posted in 2 months, so the past 2 months is a bad metric, lol. Outed yourself as being obsessed of hating me so much you couldn't even check what you were saying. Hahaha. Okay, little bro. So, make a video. Stop being a lazy chump. You called me irrelevant, and when I showed that I'm outperforming you, you said that you haven't posted. That's pure cope." This shit went on for an entire day, with Ethan constantly engaging with other critics. Lyrics asked if he can come on stream, with Ethan replying back, "Nah, I had beef with Oscar and I guess he didn't want it back. You are also a random person in my replies, you weirdo." Okay, enjoy your time arguing your girlfriend's alleged sexual assault of 100 follower shitters who just want to rile you up. Why are you still doing this? Surely you're aware this discussion isn't productive. Like, why now? And why are you sporadically responding to random people? He's trying to make up for not defending her for the past 2 months, so he can seem like a capable boyfriend. This dude is just actively begging for a ton of negative press on a story most people forgot, out of seemingly nowhere. I'm not sure what's going through his head, but he's just sabotaging his girlfriend's second video by spurging out. How can I influence people's opinions on a video that isn't even out yet? I am sure it's just a coincidence the SuperMega story has been all over my timeline again all day today when it's been basically dead for weeks. Ethan pretty much replied to everyone. Well, except me when I said, "You made it into drama after telling Nick to make a biased video on it and did a livestream celebrating SuperMega's sub-loss. Then he hid like a coward after Nick got hate. Your partner has made several contradictions, so people are rightfully going to question her. All this did was give his opponents content, as Sensitive Society and others would cover this Twitter drama. Things went quiet after this though, as Ethan returned to posting content normally. Then, in late February, Ethan would get into drama with Alex Rosen, which I'll go over shortly, because during the backlash he got from that, Lex finally decided to make a second video addressing SuperMega. Her and Ethan have been hinting at this for months, but most believe this would never come out. It seems she only made this since SuperMega started uploading again, and had lots of support. She realized that everyone saw her and Ethan as massive liars, especially after Nick posted his 5th apology in January. The video, titled, "Here's How Don Doctor and SuperMega Lied About My Essay," was uploaded on April 27, 2024, and yikes, that's a bad like to dislike ratio. She starts by recapping the drama and going over Don's response. She now claims that Don choked her, instead of simply coercing her, as said in her first video. This is a telltale sign that she's full of shit. If that did happen, why didn't you mention it before? She's only doing it now to make her story seem more damning. Lex doubles down on the claim that Matt and Ryan covered up her sexual assault, interpreting their messages as malicious when they clearly aren't. She is the malicious one here, not being able to apologize for anything she did wrong during the initial drama. Not even the Daniel Kyer mention, which she brushes off.
He calls me a liar, everyone else a liar that spoke out on claims that we spoke on Daniel's suicide. Ryan uses angry, passive-aggressive language to guilt and shame everyone involved that merely mentioned Daniel's name, liking it to having spoken badly on Daniel himself, using quotes and references to my post and video that isn't about Daniel, but another suicide attempt close to me that I mentioned several times in my 2-hour video.
Bro, they're mad you tried weaponizing it against them. You spread a false claim that they mocked a suicide, motivating people to leave negative comments regarding Matt and Ryan. Instead of owning up to that, she blames Destiny's audience.
Ryan doesn't mind going directly to Twitter about an unlisted video of mine to demand an apology for mean comments that some freaks, probably Destiny's audience, made on Daniel's memorial.
She then brings up why she briefly unlisted her original video, as she just wanted to speak her mind to her audience only.
I started to get harassed more and more by right-wing commentary, reactionary bastards. Anyway, getting awful comments when I was just not in the mental space to be able to handle them. And without having watched Matt and Ryan's videos until October, I was ignorant to the fact that they had pretty much spent the whole video defending themselves instead of saying anything supportive, and pretty much saying I lied about almost everything except for the assault, and fueling pretty much all the talking points that came to the commentary community. It became pretty overwhelming for me in the mental state I was in that I was still trying to heal from. So about a month later, I felt that the video had at least served its purpose within like the people that would have wanted to see it, and so I privated it. I was ready to heal, as I had stated in my previous video. That was how I ended it. I was ready to heal and I wanted to move on, and so I took initiative on what I had stated before.
She's clearly lying here. If she didn't do it for attention, then why go on stream with Ethan? Why ask Nick to cover it? She brings him up, showing text she sent to him after his 3rd SuperMega video. She asked him to take accountability for muddying the waters, as if she didn't do that in the first video by sprinkling in bullshit claims. By this point, Nick was realizing he fucked up and seemed to actually want to improve things for the better. Lex, and Ethan in turn, are unhappy that Nick won't be their lapdog anymore. She then makes excuses for why she became homeless, explaining why she didn't want to live in an apartment alone. Pretty much, she's a nitpicky NEET, who felt like this would give Matt and Ryan financial control over her, as if she didn't spend months living at the SuperMegaplex. Lex adds on to this by showing anger towards the focus of the drama being shifted away from Dawn. This was her own doing, since more than half her original video focused on innocuous claims, like that nobody showed up to her birthday party. She ends the video by spending 5 minutes listing rape and sexual assault stats, which is just her virtue signaling. This video got torn to shreds, with every single comment picking apart her lies and contradictions. Though one comment stuck out, as it came from Dawn's ex-girlfriend. She wrote, Lex, let's not forget about how when I originally talked to you and posted about Don grooming me, you backed him up and continued being his friend. I was foolish to make tweets about the situation back in the summer before I realized the full situation. In my experience talking to you directly in the past, you acted like a snake. Yes, you agreed that Don fucked up, but you also said you supported me and didn't hold him accountable with me at all. Now you know how it feels to be me, when I felt all alone and afraid when people didn't believe me. When my previous account got mass reported by Don's followers and suspended, you're so pissed about people not supporting you, but where were you in the past for me? This was the top comment until Lex deleted it. If this is true, which I don't entirely know, then it proves how much of a selfish bitch Lex is. On March 3rd, 2024, Ethan would upload a video to his Pethan channel called Hunting Predators for Clout. This is actually an edited down segment from my live stream, and I'm glad because I can't imagine sitting through an hour of this.
He doesn't take off days. He just sits inside on the internet, probably scrolling Twitter all day long, talking to fucking pedophiles on Facebook, pretending to be a minor every day. Unwell.
This video is meant as a hit piece of sorts on Alex Rosen, who some know as Chet Goldstein. Alex became infamous due to his sting on Cupcake Muncher EDP445. While Alex and his crew did expose him for being a pedophile, many rightfully criticized him for his poor management of the case. EDP would never end up getting legal repercussions because of this, and many began looking into Alex's online past. For instance, Alex has a history of making edgy prank videos, like when he called a Black Lives Matter hotline to spout the gamer word. He also recorded a video of him telling a woman that he had a child locked in his basement.
There's a window in the basement.
I provide her with plenty of D, just not the vitamin part.
Oh no, that's not good either.
Oh, really?
Not if it's a child.
Well, I was tired of being a virgin, so what
Wow.
Most importantly, he used actual minors as decoys to lure in predators.
So I'll be honest about the decoy pics. So one of the decoy pics, the Hispanic boy that we use, that's my cameraman's little cousin. And the white decoy that we use, he's 17. And yeah, I met him on PS4. We're playing Madden together, and he said he was down to do it. So you have two minors that you use as decoys. Yes, and their parents both know.
Now these are definitely things to criticize someone over, especially from my professional standpoint. I actually talked about this in a video I posted a month before at Ethan's, in order to explain why Alex got banned from YouTube. Ethan starts his video by laying out these criticisms, but the thing is, Alex has changed. He actually successfully catches pedos, and works with local police to ensure they get criminally charged. Besides being an edgelord on Twitter, there's really nothing massive to criticize him for, but Ethan still tries anyways. His video has a pretty bad start, as he says this about EDP.
And so he and his weird little cameraman are just harassing EDP and asking him a bunch of really stupid questions like, why do you do this, man? Do you know that this is bad to do?
Who cares if they're harassing EDP? He came there to meet with a 13-year-old girl. It's such a stupid complaint. Ethan then reviews Alex's older videos, but uses it once again to paint him as a pedo.
You can't make these kinds of jokes and look like this. Sorry. Can't do it.
Ethan's other criticisms are okay, but he brings this all up for ulterior motives, because Alex has actually improved over the years, but Ethan doesn't care because the guy is openly conservative. This leads to some very bizarre statements from Ethan that make it seem like he's downplaying or defending the actions of pedos. For instance,
so of course, because the predator, hunter, anti-pedophile dog whistles are extremely right-wing in nature, he was also on Tim Pool's show, where I think a pedophile hunter should be. He was recently interviewed by Michael Knowles of the Daily Wire. Michael Knowles is like a D-tier Daily Wire guy, so I never really talk about him. He's really stupid. He's like the Waluigi to Ben Shapiro's Mario. But he did interview Alex Rosen, and I figured I would watch the interview.
How are pedo hunters a dog whistle for right-wingers? Because in that second interview Ethan mentions, Alex actually says the opposite.
So you're a man of the right. You're right wing.
Very, very, very far right.
Yeah. Are there any liberals involved in the catch a pedo community?
Predator catcher wise, there's really nobody who's a leftist.
Yeah.
It's kind of
funny that.
Yeah, right. I will say though, most of the people we catch, I guess, are Republican voters. Not conservative in practice, because a lot of them are like on disability and welfare and all that stuff. But you know, we get a lot of comments like on YouTube on Rumble, for example, like, oh, but look at you, you're catching another right winger. I'm like, okay, but the person arresting him is a right winger, the person catching him is a right winger, so it's
right.
He's saying that he mainly catches right wingers. I'm sure Alex is biased against leftists, but he's truthful enough to mention that fact. Ethan isn't truthful at all, as he never shows himself reacting to that part and giving his takes. But wait, there's more.
Just yesterday in Georgia, we confronted a person who was out on bond for child porn charges, and we just showed up at his house with no messages, no nothing. We just had a phone number associated with an app that we know to be child porn related. And we talked to him for like 2 hours, and he admitted after he got out of...
You have an app that gives you Predator's phone number if he uses child porn, and then you found his address that way and then went to his house. Like, what is any of this technology? He won't name anything. He won't say what the app is called.
Ethan, why would he reveal that? Because if he did, a pedophile could use that app to make sure they're not being tracked.
So what got you into this?
Well, I'm 23 years old now. I know I look older, but, you know, seeing...
You look more mature.
Right, I look more mature. Thank you, thank you.
This man is 23 years old and spends all day pretending to be a child on the internet to talk to pedophiles, and then goes to their house. This guy's not normal.
19 years old, I've always wanted to be a police officer. I couldn't do that in Houston, Texas, where I'm from. At 19, you got to be 21 to graduate the academy. At least that's what it was a couple years ago. I don't know now.
He doesn't want to be a cop anymore. He's having way too much fun, pretending to be a little boy all day.
Okay, so you're rightfully going after him for using a minor as a decoy, but now you're saying it's weird for him to act as a minor to catch them? What should he do then, Ethan? Has he never seen To Catch a Predator before? Because Alex is using the same tactics as them to legally obtain confessions out of pedos.
I mean, you texted her like 4 times in a row, multiple times.
She kept taking me first.
I do think that because this guy keeps repetitively engaging these people, clearly, you can't arrest him for that. Because he wasn't talking to a little girl. He was talking to a guy pretending to be a little girl. It's not illegal, unfortunately. Playing pretend, you can't bring that into court.
You absolutely fucking can. Come on, Ethan. Imagine being so bad at research that you don't even know it's illegal to send sexual messages to someone you think is underage. It's called soliciting a minor, and you can be arrested by intent. God, he's retarded.
Do you ever go to the movies or something? Do you ever have a day off?
Well, I don't take off days. I love to work. So luckily, I think catching predators is the funnest thing somebody can do. So it really works out well for me.
So, he's so brain broken. He doesn't take off days. He just sits inside on the internet, probably scrolling Twitter all day long, talking to fucking pedophiles on Facebook, pretending to be a minor every day. Unwell.
Says the guy spending all day criticizing people for catching groomers. Ethan is the last person to call someone unwell and terminally online. This dude spends his time getting into easily avoidable drama and smoking weed of his mentally unwell girlfriend. I'm not a fan of Alex, but I heavily appreciate what he's doing. I don't think I can ever do what he does, yet Ethan treats this like a waste of time. He goes over a recent pedo that Alex caught, not understanding Alex's interrogation tactics.
Every single person has a vice. Every single person does stupid stuff, okay? I'm not immune from that. You're not immune from that.
Dude, he watches so much fucking like propaganda and like interrogation on YouTube where he's trying to establish rapport with this old man in his recliner. Does he think this is an interrogation?
Well, it is an interrogation. What do you expect him to do? Start waterboarding the guy? He's coaxing him into revealing his crimes, not torturing him. He's doing things the right way, but Ethan just needs an excuse to label Alex as a pedophile sympathizer. Yet only a minute later, he says this.
Like, this dude probably makes plenty of money off this shit, but he's not paying for therapy. He's not getting these guys into like a housing that's away from like anyone they could do any harm to, that has no internet. He's not doing shit. And he gets called a hero for it by hogs like Michael Knowles.
Alright, for the last time. That housing is called prison. He's getting these guys arrested and charged. I mean, here's the guy's mugshot. Proven pedophiles don't need to be coddled by society. They should receive the harshest punishment possible. And he never claims what he means by this. Because if Ethan was referring to getting non-offending pedophiles therapy, then okay, I guess. But instead, this implies he wants convicted pedophiles to receive treatment. People like that won't ever change. Did EDP change when he was revealed? No. He kept doubling down because redemption was never possible.
You know, I think our videos, or at least the intent of them, is to leave no doubt that these people getting exposed and arrested deserve the rest of their life, if not, you know, death in prison.
So what?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. I was just about to ask what his, like, solution is. Like,
oh, the humanity. Someone please think of the child rapists.
Because they think that
I'm a little older.
Yeah, they think that I'm mature enough to have a 9-year-old daughter.
And be a pedophile too, because you look like a pedophile.
You know, in 6th grade, you know, some kid had his phone out. He's like, oh, Alex, look at this. And it was like porn. But I don't like 11-year-olds. I don't like 14-year-olds. I like adults.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. I don't like 11-year-olds. I don't like 13-year-olds. I like adults. Guy who is definitely only into adults. Thank you for specifying.
And there's 2 more instances of Ethan implying he's a pedophile, followed up by Ethan blurting out this gem of a line.
Is it just because they're idiots?
Are they idiots? Yeah, I'd say a lot of them are, but you know,
Okay, Michael Knowles is a fucking idiot. What kind of question is that? Are pedophiles because they're stupid?
What, you think pedos are stupid? No, you're stupid.
Just a couple days ago in San Antonio, we caught a guy and he wanted to give a to what we said was an autistic 5-year-old. So, I mean, they have no limit. I mean, you know.
That involves.
Yes.
Right, okay, yeah.
It's just shock value. He says like autistic 5-year-old like it's some crazy thing. You came up with that, motherfucker. That was your character that you made up. Why did you do that? Is he about to be like, yeah, Chris Hansen, they had the 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds. We have 5-year-olds. We have 4-year-olds. They wanted a toddler. We push it to the max. We make these guys go crazy for babies. And then we don't arrest them.
Okay, so you know what To Catch a Predator is. And wait, what do you mean he doesn't get pedophiles arrested?
Can't be like the ends justify the means when you've only gotten like 40 people arrested out of like 600 stings.
At this point, we have an arrest in 44 different states.
An arrest in 44 different states. So one per state out of 600 stings?
He got 40 pedos arrested. So yes, the ends justify the means. How many creeps have you caught, Ethan? None? Okay, shut the fuck up. Let's be real. Ethan mainly made this video because Alex is conservative. If he just focused on that aspect, then I wouldn't complain. But nitpicking how he catches criminals is stupid, and it makes it look like he's defending them. Him being conservative doesn't change the fact that Alex is doing good. He's doing what pedo hunters should be doing. Would Ethan ever condemn other predator poacher channels like Anxiety War? No. He's too politically brained for that. He's gotta defend the groomers to own the chuds.
This pedo hunter stuff is really gross, really exploitative of people's emotions, and ultimately it's very self-serving for this particular predator hunter. You couldn't even put EDP in jail. Anyway, go touch some grass.
This is easily Ethan's most hated video, and rightfully so. It even got many online leftists to agree that Ethan is a piece of shit, though many didn't take note of it until commentary channels started covering it, leading to Alex Rosen taking notice of the video and calling him out. On March 6th, Alex reposted part of the video and tweeted, "Look at this little dork making a hit piece on me. Let's call in on a live stream, and you can ask me about the same tired-ass clips that every other talentless reaction YouTuber has for the past 3 years. What do you say? You can't arrest him. Here's the guy you're referring to. Arrested. Clown. Did you arrest him, Alex? This freakazoid wants me to debate him. No free clout. Sorry, creep. It's not illegal. Here's a guy that got arrested today because he was talking to someone pretending to be a little girl. Just admit it. You're out of your element. Yeah, dude, it wasn't you. It was someone who can actually arrest them and set up a sting, unlike you. We set up the sting." Alex shows these images. And you got the footage where he was arrested, yeah? People point out that Ethan is moving the goalpost, and rightfully so. And yes, they got the footage of the guy being arrested. Alex then quote tweets him with, "You have no clout, and you have no point. Our work is regularly involved in court proceedings. They played an entire video of ours and had me testify, before they sentenced the guy we confronted to 120 plus years not even a week ago. We've had people arrested on enticement, luring, etc. Charges from what you call pretending to be a little girl. You don't know how a sting operation works. And by the way, if you think decoying is creepy, that's fine. But I'd like you to go ahead and extend that to all of our decoys too. Some of whom are victims themselves, responsible for putting many dangerous people away for decades. They're all older than I am. Are they creepy as well? You can't debate because you don't know what you're talking about. You're a joke, dude, ha 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 ha." Alex then shares DMs he sent Ethan where he politely asked him to go on a debate. "Yeah, no dude, you're an actual creepin' weirdo. I want nothing to do with your stinky, smelly ass. Keep covering for your weird, pervert self hiding in plain sight. Posting your own L's. Getting called stinky smelly by a YouTuber. The fact that you want me to debate you so bad just proves that you're exactly the clout shark I know you are, brother. Who cares? Let's pretend he does this all for clout. Still seems like he is worthy for the clout if he is getting pedos arrested. I like pedos being arrested. Do you also like pedos being arrested? Your girlfriend's still complaining about getting free housing for months by 2 guys who didn't have to? Things died down until people started picking up on the drama in late March, with this attention causing Ethan to write out a series of tweets on the 31st. Really cute to keep making videos harassing a victim of multiple CSA, for calling out the unethical and suspicious practices of a YouTuber wannabe cop. Seriously, fuck all of you. You're defending an actual predator. But you don't care because you want the content. You're sick. If I saw some overpaid hog YouTuber sitting for tea with the man that groomed and assaulted me, I'd be sick to my stomach. Fuck all of you for inserting yourself into something you don't understand. I don't give a shit about your NPC talking points. You don't know what this kind of trauma is like, and you don't give a shit about children or victims. I'm humiliated I even have to talk about this, but getting called a pedophile for months on end has been crippling on my mental health. Fuck you all. I hope you get exactly what you deserve. Okay, a few things. 1. How is he going to complain about being called a pedophile, when in the same thread he referred to Alex Rosen as a predator? And remember, he insinuated 4 times in his original video that Alex is a pedo. No self-awareness from Ethan here. 2nd, Alex doesn't have tea with these groomers. He's coaxing them into having a confession. He's pretending to be nice to get them to confess. No matter how many times you explain it to him, Ethan will never understand. 3rd, of course this guy is playing victim. He started this drama, of course, but he can't stand the same amount of hate that he dishes out. You getting assaulted as a child doesn't make you automatically correct. The comments were turned off, so the quote tweets are filled with responses. A lot of them just call him a pedo, but some give valid criticism. Translation: I made a garbage, bad faith hit piece where I was being a dishonest piece of shit, and people called me out for it and disputed my claims, so I'm going to weaponize my story of CSA to play victim, instead of admitting or understanding why I was wrong and apologizing. Harassing? You made a shit video and put it out there for the public to react to, exactly like you wanted, but because you're not getting the reaction you wanted, you're crying victim. That's not harassment, you disingenuous piece of shit. I said, here's all the Ethanisonline-isms exemplified for this drama. Make a video in bad faith with weak evidence. Bring politics into it for no reason. Make fun of someone's looks despite fighting for body positivity. Spurg out on Twitter in response to reasonable criticism. And then Alex wrote, you wanted to make a dumbass hit piece about me. Now you're getting your reaction. Are you mad that I'm not just allowing you to steamroll me and making you look like a complete coward by publicly asking you to debate and you refusing? Poor you, bro. This is the face of a clown that can't take the heat. By mid-2024, the condemnation against Ethan was the highest it's ever been. His uploads still get decent views, but they'd slowly dip below 100,000 views on average. I guess normies don't want to watch. The celebrity blackout is a mess. New York's unhinged cop mayor, and fake fruit is taking over TikTok. Nobody was really talking about these videos, but instead some of the live streams Ethan did on Twitch. The first stream of note is from July 9th, where Ethan gets asked about queef jerky.
Do you still fuck with queef jerky? I know people have been really curious, and like, I haven't found like a great time to really talk about it, because like, how do you? It's not like I've been trying to like hide it or anything. It's just hard to make that space and know that people are actually going to understand, metabolize what I'm saying.
He drones on for a bit and starts getting into the nitty-gritty. Ethan begins elaborating on why he and Nick is not Green stopped being friends.
Some of you guys might know that Nick covered what happened with Lex's story. His first video was sort of a recap of what had come out and an overview of the subreddit of the guys that covered up what happened, and really talking about how the subreddit was making fun of them. And he engaged in a lot of similar making fun of, but he didn't lie. He didn't get anything wrong. Then their responses came out and they lied about everything. I mean, bar for bar, line by line, lying through their teeth. And I think Nick believed them, but wouldn't tell me. At least for some things. Because his second video, he didn't come back to check anything. He didn't come back to be like, you know, whose side is right? He actually didn't speak to Lex once. She talked about this in her video.
Can you name one thing SuperMega lied about? Or are you just saying that to cover your own ass? You can watch the full segment below, and not once does he give a good example. He says something similar about the commentary community.
Because, like, I don't want to watch the hate videos. I think a lot of people are in that boat. Not that they even know anything. They literally get everything wrong. Every hate video is just factually wrong. That's the funniest part about them. Not one hater video has ever gotten, like even, like, where I come from right. Like, they don't know anything about me.
The one example he gave on Twitter was shit, so his others would be just as bad.
Nick's second video comes out about the situation, and he's, like, conforming to their narrative that contradicts what Lex said, but doesn't, like, fact check any of it. With us, with Lex, he just, like, you know. And he continued to conform more and more to that narrative as people were harassing him, making insane videos that they make about me all the time. And this is before I ever had anything like that. So I don't think he trusted me when I told him it would go away, or that it isn't important to focus on. Because I was comparing it to how people treat Hassan, which is very accurate. It's very similar. The way people were lying about Nick was disgusting. The way they were using him in their thumbnails was racist and disgusting. Almost every single video. Without exception.
Wait, is he saying that every single Nick hate video has a racist thumbnail? Where? He obviously doesn't show an example, but it's such a bizarre claim to make. I'm not denying the existence of a so-called racist thumbnail, but Ethan's track record leads me to believe he's making this up. And of course, Ethan is comparing himself to Hassan Piker. What a shocker.
But when Nick's second video came out, he didn't get shit right. He just got shit wrong, and it made people think Lex was lying. And he continued making posts and videos about it when I asked him not to, because he kept getting shit wrong, which would send harassment to Lex. Or he would post an Instagram story that, you know, might not be that bad, but is something that people are screenshotting, making videos about, and harassing Lex with. And I told him to stop, and he didn't. I sat him down and I said, you have to stop talking about this. I said, just stop. He had made 4 videos or something. And I was like, dude, you keep getting stuff wrong and you're not talking to the person involved. You have to stop. And he literally implied that I was trying to control him or something. He completely flipped it on me and was acting like I was trying to do something to him. And I was like so defeated, to the point where I was like, you need to like just talk to Lex. Just talk to Lex. I don't even want to have this conversation with you. Just please talk to Lex. And I asked him to apologize for getting shit wrong, for sending people to harass her, obviously he didn't mean to do this, and I was trying to be very understanding. And he refused.
Okay, a lot to break down here. Nick implies that Ethan was trying to control him. Ethan's response was to force him into conversing with Lex and apologize. Sounds controlling to me. By this point, Nick didn't want to communicate with Lex and Ethan anymore, possibly due to a few reasons. He might have seen the couple as too controlling. He might now be realizing all the holes in Lex's story, and doesn't trust her as much. Or he was stuck underneath a rock in a hard place, deciding to agree with whatever was the popular opinion. We don't know, as we've never gotten Nick's side of the story. Based on what Ethan is saying, he only got pissed at Nick when he began having his own opinions on the situation. He couldn't control Nick anymore, and threw him under the bus just like with the other accusers. It seemingly took months for Nick to fully realize how much he fucked up.
Lex sent him a very long text, it's in her video, begging him to communicate. And that was after he started drama unnecessarily, got shit wrong without listening, and eventually he told me it was just too stressful. He said, I can't even talk about this with you guys because it's so stressful for me. And I sent him the longest message. I was like, dude, I'm just telling you you're wrong for this. And it was a very long message about the shit that Lex had gone through, the shit that I had gone through, and that had never been put on him. Not once, even when we could have. But his pushback was put on us because we had a problem with why he was getting it, which was him getting shit wrong. And all I wanted was to communicate. Just talk. And it was too much.
From the sounds of it, you did not want him to have a conversation. You wanted to reassert dominance over him. You wanted him to be your puppet, your spin doctor. I don't like Nick, but the dude got fucked over, man. Because by the end of 2023, Nick was genuinely trying to accost for his mistakes, which Ethan rants about.
He made another video about it where he apologized to the guys that covered it up by name. Didn't mention Lex's name once, calls her the victim. And he's apologizing for starting drama when it was about how they covered up sexual assault. And that, it made people think Lex was completely making up an entire fucking fabricated story to cancel YouTubers. When that is not even close to what happened. It couldn't be further from the truth. And that couldn't be further from something Lex would want to do.
Pretty sure it was a live stream that did that. Also this.
We can keep watching it. I don't think anyone minds letting this loop on repeat. We could just let this go.
Oh, and Ethan thinks that bit from Nick was justified.
People were praising him for the vid. Yeah, annoying commentary watchers and liars were saying this is such a good video because you apologized to the guys that I like. And apologized for, hurting their feelings, I guess. He literally apologized for playing the gif of fucking Matt Watson getting punched in the face. You're really apologizing for that? He's a rape apologist. Play it 10 times, 100 times. I can't be friends with people who are that, easy to fold.
Says the guy who made this tweet. The rest of the stream is just Ethan victimizing himself, bringing up the hate he got from the Alex Rosen drama.
I've obviously, deleted a bunch of old shit. Not videos or anything, just like I deleted all my TikToks. I deleted a lot of Instagram posts. Partially because people were brigading them, calling me a fucking pedophile, which is disgusting and completely wrong and literally a lie.
Didn't stop you from calling Alex a pedo though, huh? Oh, and a troll came in to mess with Ethan and spam Fish Tank Live buzzwords.
Fish Tank Live? Season 3? What even is that? You're literally like my favorite loser podcast that reports on random YouTube drama is gonna love this in a month, I guess. Like, do you even know what I'm about to talk about? You don't. Thank you, iFunny. Jimmy fucks dogs. John Tent Forever. JJJ. Vertical Bar. Dude. Chatter, take your meds, dude. Like, seriously. My most stable hater. I need to ban... Okay, Sophie, because he's literally, I think, sick. Get better. It's over. You failed.
You really own that random shitter there, Ethan. Apparently, there's another stream he did where he watches Fish Tank Live clips. It's lost, but if anyone has recordings of that, please send them my way. A week later on July 16th, YouTuber and streamer Lyrics begin sifting through a few Ethan VODs live. He's met with a clip where Ethan and Lex basically call Turkey Tom and Destiny pedophiles, as if Ethan hasn't learned his lesson yet.
Can they unpunish Ed? Bro, how long has he been on this crusade?
Got. Just spin on it. Just spin on it,
Dude,
too.
No wonder he's such a big Destiny fan now. He's just hopping pedophile to pedophile.
He just...
No wonder he's such a big Destiny fan. Destiny's a pedophile. Dude, this guy is saying crazy shit publicly.
Soon he begins watching that night's stream, where Ethan and Lex are playing Elden Ring. Lyric shows interest in debating Ethan, though Ethan rejects this while arguing with his chat.
He's wrong about everything because I know the random like NPC takes that he has about me. He doesn't actually know anything about me, he just repeats what other commentary YouTubers say.
I've done coverage on him. I mean, if he wants to have a conversation, this isn't true.
Basic information wrong. He's untrustworthy and stupid.
So let's have a conversation. You could wipe the floor with me then. You could wipe the floor if I don't know anything about you.
Like, how else can I show that to you?
In a conversation. That would be the easiest debate of your life.
He didn't have one, but you're acting like the others are invalid because one guy made a mistake, because they're all the same.
They're all the same.
They all make little mistakes. Oops.
Just generalizing a whole community.
After this, Ethan tries labeling Lyrics as a pedo too, so his viewers began raiding Ethan's chat to mess with him.
What about the lolly accusations? Are you like a Vosh defender or something?
Let's start.
Like, you think
Nope.
that's cool? Because I certainly don't.
Nope.
Lyrics might.
Nope. Just more repeating shit he has no clue about. He hopped on false accusations against
Like literally like just throwing out a random accusation when like apparently that's people's biggest problem with me is like
and yet he just repeated that I'm a Vosh defender.
People like Lyrics.
He's bitching about people calling him a pedo and he just called me a fucking Vosh defender.
Lyrics soon concludes his stream, with viewers like myself joining Ethan's. He spends over an hour reading random comments made specifically to piss him off. He reads almost every single one, clearly malding. He takes his time to point out typos, as if that's anything close to resembling a valid argument.
Your. I put it out the wrong word. You're stupid. You're stupid. You're.
Wait, Mighty, I don't have a stupid. Are you okay? I don't have one. What do you mean you're stupid?
Grammar Nazi over here.
Over her? Over who?
Dude, you're
who are you talking about?
You don't have a brain. You don't have fingers.
I'm not the one that's misspelling the most basic language.
You're stupid.
Smaggle then comes in and brings up the Big Bungie video.
Still think you should watch the Big Bungie video on you? Would wipe the slate clean with this chat. That video has fucking revenge porn in it. It is a deranged, like, fucking delusion made by a 4chan basement dweller. I'm not watching that. You're sick in the head if you think there's fucking good critiques in it, and if you want to fucking make the points, repeat them. Regurgitate like you do all these dumbass questions. Based Bungie. My favorite YouTuber, Bazy Bungie. It's so funny to see you see. Dude, you haven't made a single point. I hope you're proud of yourself. But you haven't. Call your mom, yeah. Yeah, we're not going to look at that on stream, actually. We're not going to look at Bazy Bungie and his fucking dumbass, fake-ass video. For real, what's one point he makes in that video? He literally theorizes that I have diabetes. Fucking real hard-hitting critique there. Coping and seething? Bro,
You can't
watch my
fucking
stream
spell,
more.
Nick.
Copping.
You got bigger problems to sort out.
Okay, first of all, how is this revenge porn? At worst, it's piracy. It's a photo Lex posted online herself. It's just under a paywall. And he censored the image, so who cares? These are the people spreading the whole sex work is real work narrative, and then treat OnlyFans leaks as revenge porn. OF photos aren't intended to be shared privately. It's a business. A morally bankrupt business, but a business nonetheless. Also, Ethan calling Big Bungie a 4chan basement dweller is hilarious. Comparing them is basically the Chad vs. Virgin meme. Bungie is jacked, and Ethan looks like the trap image of the Pillsbury Doughboy. Here's a few other funny moments from the stream.
Why did you make your soy friend Nick defend
He's
your
not-
GF?
he-
He didn't defend her, by the
we
way.
made him. We made him do
He
it.
didn't do
He
it.
has no autonomy. He's actually a trained dog in a
You're
man
so
suit.
stupid.
Who?
Tipster owns you.
Titty?
Is that you?
A brown guy's I'm a brown person! What do you mean?
You are a white person.
You're trying to make this some like racist shit. You little fucking snowflake.
Weird. You got mogged by Smaggle Daggle and Tipster.
Dude! That's even better than Glepshido!
Smaggle Daggle! That's not a fucking real thing.
That's the guy that was like having intrusive thoughts about me jerking off a child.
A Cheeto owns you, Budster. Sensitive Society owns
You're
you.
just,
Yeah,
like,
do you want to
naming
name
guys.
any more?
Dude, how does it feel to be an
Smaggle.
actual NPC? You're just pressing the different, like, 4-button combinations you got.
Chud Logic owns you.
Yeah, the racist guy.
Yeah, fallen off
He's, like,
Nazi.
ugly as fuck. Really?
Totally. There we go, more Star Wars characters. Let them all out. Just remember, bad dogs get put down. What's that supposed to mean?
Don't make me horny making dog illusions.
Ronald Riz.
Out here doing foreplay. Do I need to put a collar on now?
Dude, come
Put on.
on.
The puppy ears?
Ronald Riz.
And yes, Lex is a furry. I had to verify that the hard way.
Her job is to be a freeloader. Animal Control owns you.
I own a house.
Oh hey, there's me. Yeah, you know I had to join in. Here's my favorite comment.
You and Vosh to date. What? Why would you say that? He's a pedophile.
Well, shucks. I got banned from his chat, guys. Show's over. In all honesty, this stream is pretty pathetic. Ethan is just sitting there smoking out of a bong, while his chaotic girlfriend hangs in the background and does her Kamala Harris hyena screech.
Oh my god, you're so stupid!
Is it? Wait, I'm
You are so
getting
fucking
gaslit.
stupid. Average intelligence of my fucking haters, dude. Right fucking here.
Innocent people don't act this way. They're trying to laugh things off and seem chill, when in reality, they're spiraling. If they were being truthful, then Ethan would make a video debunking all the lies about him. He won't, of course. That's why he needs his breadtuber friends to do it for him. Ethan would delete this VOD, but that wouldn't stop people from archiving it. Lyrics would review it on stream the next day, pointing out how successful his audience was at baiting them.
A Cheeto owns you, Budster. Sensitive.
Dude, he's reading these out in these retarded voices, not realizing, like, the fact that, like, the reason people are even bringing up a Cheeto right now is because people are coming from my chat, who my chat certainly does not like a Cheeto anymore. And it just wants you to say these names out loud. They're trying to make you and trying to bait you into saying all these commentary YouTubers' names. Like, that's the joke.
About half an hour in, a surprise guest enters the chat.
Yo, dude, what is this alliance? Is this Mr. Beard? It's Ryan Beard. Ethan needs to log off. He's clearly spiraling but doesn't realize it. Him and Lex suck though, so whatever. I'm not friends with Ethan anymore after he justified anti-Semitism and told me I was victim blaming when I got mad at Lex for lying about Nick is not green. Let's fucking go. Based Ryan Beard.
The first part of that message is actually referring to a Twitter argument Ryan had with Ethan at the beginning of 2024. It has a lot to do with the Israel-Palestine stuff, but the gist is that Ryan didn't like the interview Hassan did with the Houthi pirate. Ethan is a Hassan dick muncher, and thought the interview was based, and downplayed that person as just a random Yemeni kid. Ryan deleted a bunch of these tweets, so I can't show the entire conversation.
I'm still just as much of a leftist, but Ethan makes other leftists look like freaks when he releases terrible videos, like the Alex Rosen one, so I have no desire to associate with him. Hey man, I'll see you later, Ryan Beard. Don't worry though, if Ethan calls you a pedo, that just means that he wants you to get free therapy. Lol, alright, I need to stop. See you guys later. Have a good one, man.
based Ryan Beard. This is why I glazed the guy in my BreadTuber video. Even if you disagree with the take he's had, the dude has the balls to call out other BreadTubers. A lot of Ethan's other friends started distancing themselves from him too, not wanting to associate with someone who gives leftists a bad name. This stream solidified Ethan as the lolcow of BreadTube. He still has a fan base, but it's much smaller and less vocal. More people hate him than love him, as seen by the amount of views the average hate video gets. It's incredibly easy to milk content from this guy, as he'll always give an over-the-top reaction to any form of criticism he gets. In June, the reason why Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitch was finally revealed. Former Twitch director of strategic partnerships, Cody Connors, tweeted, he got banned because he got caught sexing a minor in the then existing Twitch Whispers product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read in plain text. Case closed, gang. The doc would deny this at first, and it would take a few more days for him to partially confess. The issue some had is that many big influencers are too quick to automatically label him as a pedo before the confession. This was labeled as a double standard, as some of these same influencers weren't as quick to condemn Ava Chris Tyson, leading to drama. Now, many of the individuals accused of this double standard were able to disprove this notion, but others were caught red-handed, one of those individuals being Ethanisonline, who made multiple tweets shitting on Dr. Disrespect days before the confession. He even got into an argument with Alex Silverstein, which were just pointless back and forths. Now, he was obviously justified in shitting on the doc, but he didn't give the same energy when Ava was accused of buying lolly art and sending sexually inappropriate messages to minors. On July 20th, a few days after his stream with Lex, Ethan would discuss the topic live, giving this reaction to the mere mention of the allegations.
Thoughts on the Chris Tyson allegations? There are no fucking Chris Tyson allegations. What do you mean by that? What the fuck? Allegations of what?
Before starting this video...
Dude, this is not... Oh my god. This is insane. This is a random channel with 9,000 subscribers. This video will make you hate Chris Tyson. It's only 7 minutes.
Ethan skips through the video made by Adrox, which helped bring the allegations against Ava mainstream.
So, the synopsis is... Ava used to like... Stop skipping? No, because the synopsis of the video is Ava used to like Shadman in 2017. I don't need to look at a bunch of his fucking Nazi pedophile art to go fucking figure that out. That's gross. Don't watch that fucking dog shit video. So bad. Such an awful, fucking terribly formatted video. Literally the worst fucking YouTube video I've seen in a long time. Literally just to be like, Mr. Beast's friend 7 years ago had some inappropriate tweets that were a really bad look. You're avoiding the video? That's the whole point. What am I avoiding? What am I avoiding?
You're avoiding the main topic and trying to excuse Ava's behavior by saying it happened 7 years ago. Dr. Disrespect messaged that minor 7 years ago. Does that make it okay then, Ethan? This is the double standard. I mean, Ethan will basically call other people pedophiles, but when there's evidence against Ava, he avoids addressing it. He even chastises Adrox for showing censored Shadman art, as if Ava didn't repost it herself uncensored.
Kaikrai, thank you for the prime. Do not post these! Oh my god, why are you posting this Nazi pedophile's art?
A chatter hilariously named I Get Blacked then starts arguing with Ethan, mentioning how he keeps dodging the topic at hand.
I'm literally discussing the video, which is so funny. I don't need to see the whole thing. It's bad. It's a bad video. Chris has liked images with underage characters. Bro, you are talking about a Nazi pedophile artist that was like massively popular on YouTube at the time. I'm sorry. It was fucking 7 years ago. Showing it to me is fucking gross. I don't want to see it. It's irrelevant.
Oh, Ava loves jerking off to underage characters? That's just irrelevant. Who cares? That's not going to hurt anybody. His bias towards Ava is pretty apparent, as I Get Blacked points out that he follows her on Twitter.
Since this time, Chris transitioned and is now Ava. To give you an idea of how fucking long ago this was! Stop being defensive, you follow Chris on Twitter? Dude, this was a completely different time. I was in high school when this happened. I had no idea who fucking Mr. Beast was, and neither did Mr. Beast. He wasn't even around. What are you saying? Yeah, your username, by the way, is I Get Blacked. You're also fucking weird as fuck for that. Only weird that videos like this only came up after she came out as trans? Yeah.
Ethan is biased towards Ava because she's one of the most well-known transgender influencers on the internet. She was part of a YouTube channel that has over 300 million subscribers, being the best friend of Mr. Beast. She's also taken part in trans activism, calling out Nick Merckx for his transphobia only a month prior. Ethan's bias is because she's trans and she's a leftist.
It shows maybe a bias for reality and 2024. I will say that I do have I have a recency bias. I have a bias for shit that has actually happened in the last 5 fucking years. I mean, Jesus. It shows a bias. I can say that what Chris was doing on the internet in 2017 is fucking gross, unacceptable, but she doesn't do that anymore. She doesn't do that. It's not acceptable. I agree with you. I literally agree with you. It is not acceptable. But that hasn't happened in 7 years.
Okay, then should Dr. Disrespect be forgiven? I don't think so. This recency bias argument is stupid for multiple reasons though, as some of these tweets are from 5 years ago, and some of the accusations against her from the past couple of years. This recency bias seemingly only applies to people Ethan likes, as it doesn't apply to other individuals he's talked about. I mean, the most popular video on his second channel has him calling Matt Walsh a pedophile for stuff he said 11 years ago. And for context, Matt made a blog post back in 2013, saying that 16-year-olds are the most fertile and should be impregnated. I'm not going to defend that, and I actually agree with some of Ethan's criticisms of him. I bring this up because he reveals contradictory logic to the recency bias point.
I think you should absolutely give people the benefit of the doubt that they have changed when you see them have an old take that's a bad take. But when you dig up something from 15 years ago on Matt Walsh and it's still perfectly in line with his worldview and there's no evidence that he's ever changed and he still thinks that way, and you can reasonably assume that he still thinks that way and he's publicly saying these kinds of things, it doesn't matter how old it is. He might as well have said that fucking clip yesterday because he's the same stupid incel pedophile fuck.
And I agree with that, though calling a married man with kids an incel is stupidly funny. But he clearly doesn't use that same logic of people like Alex Rosen, who have changed. Yet Ethan still criticized him for things he's done in his past. And with Ava, it's still reasonable to assume she's still into Lolly. I mean, there's no proof otherwise. That's Ethan's own logic. Ethan is not defending Ava. He's minimizing her actions while at the same time making it seem like he's condemning her. He's downplaying it. He should just say, yeah, this is gross and unacceptable, and that's it. None of this, oh well it happened so long ago, so who cares bullshit.
Why are you being defensive? Well, you're just changing the complete conversation because you don't have anything to say. Being defensive. I'm literally saying it's bad.
Room tour.
I literally said it's an unacceptable thing to do, and you're like, why are you being defensive?
Ethan would stop posting as much on Twitter after this, and never gave updates on the Ava Tyson situation, like he did with the doc. I don't think Ethan is a pedo. I just think he's so comfortable defending gross people, because his ultimate goal is to own the conservatives. Oh, conservatives are going after Ava? Guess I gotta minimize her actions. Oh, this conservative catches predators? Gotta sympathize with the predators. Oh, conservatives think gay people are groomers? Nah, they're the real groomers. None of this is productive. It just makes his side look bad. He's so politics-brained that he can't even take a step back and see how optically bad his content is. On September 25th, Ethan would tweet, "This edible ain't shit." A few hours later, he'd quote tweet this with, "I think I'm a girl?" He posted some shitty Trump meme and added on, "Wow guys, thanks for so many kind words. It's a lot to figure out, but I'm happy I'm at the point where I can make jokes like this online. Was the edible laced with estrogen? See, the fact that I wish I did makes me think a bit. I expect that from a psychedelic, not an edible." Okay, to be fair, the edible only made me want to shitpost about it. I realized it over a long period of time. Anyone following Ethan's activities like myself had already predicted something like this would happen. I mean, back in July, some guy rudely asked, "Who groomed you into becoming a troon?" Which Ethan stupidly replied with, "Joe Biden." In early September, Beazle posted a screenshot from a Twitch stream where Ethan was wearing makeup. I quote tweeted this with, "He looks like Tom Girl Chris Chan." Ethan would continue tweeting with, "My first official act now that I'm out is to apologize for having ever been a man. Please forgive me, I'll never do it again. My second act is streaming tonight live and having fun catching up with chat. My birth name is so goofy because it's not gender neutral, but it's not like masculine. I don't know. I want a pretty name too, so I found one, but honestly it's not a huge deal, until it is. Others being trans makes some people so angry online, but the kind of happy it makes me is so real and fulfilling. There's genuinely no way to take that away. TERFs and transphobes are like zoo animals to me." A few days later, Ethan would post these lovely photos of himself, while also choosing to start going by Eden. He also still goes by Ethan too, which is really confusing. I'm still going to refer to him as Ethan for consistency's sake, and also his channel is still called Ethanisonline.
Who is this cute little lesbian, and how tight is her pussy?
Many commentary channels began trolling Ethan, as to be expected. Can we collab? Stunning. Ethel works better because you look like a grandma. Whose lost grandmother is this? You should change your birth name to... Bruh. Ethan then clapped back by tweeting, being trans breaks people's brains so hard that the same freaks went from calling me soy and beta to now insisting I'm actually a strong masculine man, LMAO. It's just so funny to watch them scramble for new talking points. Like you should just go outside, or just not think about how much you disdain trans people for like a day. It's really a sickness. I don't think anyone did that, Ethan. I think everyone was just like, yeah, that makes sense, or that, you look like a grandmother with dementia in that pervious photo. Basic jokes at your expense. Nothing has changed. Still soy, still a retard. Just cause you are trans does not change that. Ethan is genuinely an emotionally stunted person, who is unable to have stable interactions with those who have differing opinions from him. He operates on a team sports mentality, something I went more in detail on in my BreadTuber video. If someone is on his side, he'll defend them against hate, even if it's reasonable hate. So if someone he likes has a differing opinion, he feels like he has no choice but to shun them. This has left him a very few friends, even within BreadTube. The only one with the balls to defend Ethan is Noah Sampson, who announced back in September that he had interest in making a video on the topic.
You know, there's a cottage industry of videos out there dunking on Ethanisonline, and there's a lot of stuff that goes on in those videos that is fucked up, and it's just very normalized, so.
This guy is not unique. There's like 500 of this exact dude. They got the same politics, the same IQ, the same smugness, but you know what they've not got? They've not got his blood cholesterol percentage. They've not got his BMI score, and you can't take that away from him.
I think I'll probably do a separate video called In Defense of Ethanisonline, because regardless of what you personally think of a guy, I feel like the amount of backlash he's received is very much not proportional to the crimes in question, at least from what I've seen, such as examples such as this.
As of recording this, Noah has yet to release such a video, and I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't at all. Many leftists online have made it very clear that they don't like Ethan, mainly due to his poor handling of the SuperMega drama and feud with Alex Rosen. Here's a Reddit post from a user on Ethan's own subreddit reading, as we all know, Ethan has been getting a lot of shit recently. Like, a lot. People are already calling him a lolcow. And honestly, I'm starting to believe that if Ethan doesn't wise up, he will become one, and it's making me furious. Ethan has stated that people are flat out lying or getting things wrong about him. I'm not sure about you guys, but if people were lying about me publicly and it affected my job, I would do everything I could to disprove people, and the fact that Ethan just does it pisses me the fuck off. Where is his self-preservation? Where is his pride? Is he seriously content of people making fun of him, calling him a liar, a lolcow, and so much worse? It just boggles my mind, and it's clearly getting to him. I know he smokes too much weed, but recently his eyes don't look like he's stoned. His eyes are the eyes of a person who doesn't sleep well, or has been crying a lot. It's clearly taken a toll on him, as he even responds to obvious trolls. In one of his recent streams, he went in on an obvious troll account on Twitter, and even engaged with a dude on Twitch called I Get Blacked for a while, which is an obvious fucking troll. Ethan is such a pussy that he can't even defend himself. He has to have Daddy Noah do it for him, and he still fails at that. I mean, in Noah's response to me, he has to cut context from my video so he doesn't have to address Ethan's livestream with Lex. I also asked a friend of mine about their thoughts on Ethan, as they're a leftist but heavily dislike Ethan. I don't mind his takes usually, but a lot of his videos feel like bad faith arguments rather than actual arguments. I get that it's YouTube, and he also has to try and be entertaining to earn money, but where sometimes he should or could argue points, he instead puts a joke in and doesn't really argue a point. Also, his reactions to criticism on Twitter are really embarrassing but funny to see. Half of his videos feel like he enjoys using leftist jargon but doesn't quite understand the concepts fully. Like, you know when people use big words that sound smart but don't really know what they mean? There's probably an alternate universe where Ethan turned out to be a normal YouTuber, someone well respected. But instead, over the course of years, he's become radicalized into someone unfamiliar with his former self. Ethan started out as a pretty mundane guy, making pretty decent commentary YouTube videos. For some reason, Ethan thinks this is when he became radicalized, but this seems to be some form of cope. Now, this is just speculation on my part, but Ethan seems to have always been a leftist, and probably watched content from Ethan Klein, Shoe on Head, Filthy Frank, and Idubbbz back in the day. He liked edgy humor, and thought making fun of SJWs was based. What probably changed was the 2020 US election, which is when BreadTube had its resurgence. Ethan started becoming more and more political, soon doing it to join the Cool Kids Club, aka BreadTube. To seem mature, he looks down upon the old edgy content he used to love, even though he's just as immature as ever. He became safe edgy, making jokes that would never piss off his audience. This has led to his content becoming stale, as he cares more about sharing pretentious messages instead of entertaining everyone as a whole. He specifically caters to an echo chamber, an audience just as radical as him. Some broke away due to his poor handling of drama, while those who have stayed are just as delusional as Ethan is. And this has led to him becoming a lolcow, someone that the commentary community farms laughs out of whenever he gives a bad take or says something cringy on Twitter. And he practically encourages this by not putting his foot down and asserting himself as correct. Obviously, he's not correct about a lot of things, but he doesn't even try at this point. One last thing I have to address though. Is Ethanisonline a cuck? Well, the answer is yes, because 2 months ago, Lex announced that she wanted to film some blowjob videos. Most likely this will involve another man, cause god, I don't think the world is ready to see Ethan's gawk. Actually, Chud Logic might enjoy that.
Okay, they're trans now. Kind of funny, I guess. I don't really know what to say about it. Except my dating partner. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. No more gawk jokes today.
Oh, you bullied him for being gay when you were gay?
Yeah, you know, kids have kind of a gaydar a little bit. He was either gay or autistic. I don't know.